What's up everyone, how are you all? Today we are back with another blazing Naruto story. What if Naruto was banished and became the guardian of a new era? If you enjoy then please like, share and do comments. It was a bright, sunny day in the village of Konoha, where 3 young genin were gathered to accept a new mission from their sensei. So, do we have a new mission, Kakashi-sensei? Asked an excited Naruto Uzumaki. Yes, it's a simple D rank but it is a very important mission. Team 7 will be cleaning the library of the 3rd Hokage, said Kakashi Hitaki, giving a thumbs up to his young genin team. Everyone's sweat dropped. Bah, this sucks. Why would the Hokage need someone else to clean up his stupid library anyway? Said Naruto, disappointed at the kind of mission he was getting. He was built for action, damn it. For once, I agree with the Dobi. This mission is a complete and utter waste of our time and abilities. We refuse to accept the mission, said Sasuke Uchiha calmly. Thank you, Teme. Finally someone who understands M. Naruto was interrupted by the voice of his teammate and crush, Sakura Haruno. Sasuke-kun is right. I can't believe we're being assigned a mission like that. Good job, Sasuke-kun, said Sakura, totally ignoring the fact that Naruto was the first one to refuse. But Sakura-chan, I was the one who. Shut up, idiot, screamed Sakura, bopping Naruto on the head. They'll never change, thought Kakashi, as he observed the scene before him. Anyway, the reason Lord Third gave us all this mission is because he'll be gone for a week, forming a peace treaty with the Hidden Mist. So we have a week to complete the mission. Plus, imagine the knowledge you will gain over the week by just looking at all the different kinds of scrolls, seals and jutsu the Professor of the Leaf must have in his collection. Kakashi smirked under his mask. I've got them now, they won't be able to resist. When you put it like that I guess it's a win-win for everyone, right? Said Naruto, still rubbing his head. Damn, Sakura-chan isn't that strong and all, but she can sure pack a killer punch. I wonder how she does it, thought Naruto with a weird look on his face that said, hey, I'm thinking. Sakura saw this and instantly knew what he was thinking about. It's the Maiden's Rage, Naruto. Never forget that, she whispered in his ear, causing him to shiver with fear. Sasuke's sweat dropped. Alright, if we're at least going to learn something, epic foreshadowing, we might as well get going, said Sasuke as he began to walk away. After they made it to the Hokage's residence, they were awestruck at the complexity of his security. Using a seal activated by his blood, Lord Third could enter his house, more like a mansion, deactivating in turn all of the traps set around the house for precautions. Their mission scroll also contained a vial with the Third's blood that Kakashi used to unlock the seal, safely entering the house. When Team 7 entered the mansion they were amazed at the size of the house. When I become Hokage, I'm gonna have a house just like this one, believe it? Naruto said, raising his fist in the air excited. Whatever, Dobi, so how are we going to find the library? Asked Sasuke. That's easy. The scroll also included a detailed map of the residence which I now leave in your hands, said Kakashi as he handed them the scroll. What do you mean by that, sensei? Asked Sakura, confused at her sensei's statement. See y'all in a week. Kakashi grabbed a copy of Makeout Tactics from his weapons pouch, started reading, and disappeared in a cloud of smoke. What the 3 genin said at the same time. That's just great. Kakashi-sensei bailed on us for the whole week so that he won't have to help and read his smutty book. Naruto exclaimed, enraged. What do we do now? Asked Sakura, not really sure what to do from here. Now we complete the mission. The sooner we get this over with the faster we can leave, answered Sasuke, he himself greatly annoyed by this turn of events. You are right, Teme. Naruto agreed. So where's the library? Asked Sakura. Let's see. From what I can tell the living room is right beside the hall. We are here, so we take a left. After that we go down a flight of wooden stairs and open the first door to the right with the key left in this scroll, explained Naruto as he looked over the map and instructions. Okay, let's grab mops, dusters and stuff and meet back here in 10 minutes, said Sasuke. Right, and with that they took off. 10 minutes later, all 3 were back with everything they needed to clean up the library. When they entered the Hokage's library they were greeted by the biggest collection of seals, scrolls, books, vials and dust. Dust and spider webs everywhere. Dom, look at this place, said Naruto in awe. I know, right? Everything in here looks so old and, well, old, said Sakura. This knowledge, to think that all this belongs to Lord Hokage. Sasuke was more than impressed. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's get started, Naruto exclaimed with a grin. I don't know where you get all that enthusiasm, Naruto. I mean, look at this place. It's a mess. That's what makes it all the more interesting. Hee hee, now come on, let's get started. As they started making some progress with the cleaning, Naruto fell upon something that caught his eye. Hey guys, get over here, you need to see this. What is it, Dobi? Asked Sasuke, slightly curious. It's an experimented seal for instant transportation, much like the flying Raijin, informed Naruto. And, what about it? Asked Sakura. This special seal can be set to transfer something to a specific place or a specific time, said Naruto as he kept reading the description. Wait, you don't mean? Sasuke slightly gasped, knowing where this was going. Yup, wanna go see the future? Naruto asked his teammates. Absolutely not, answered Sakura. Of course, answered Sasuke, surprising both of his teammates. Really? Asked Naruto, clearly excited. Why not? It'll be interesting to see ourselves in the future. Sasuke smirked. I'm sure the Dobi won't have grown a bit. Hey, I just haven't hit a growth spurt yet, said Naruto, pouting. I still don't think it's a good idea, exclaimed Sakura. Why not? Both Naruto and Sasuke shouted at the same time. I just don't want to see what the future holds for me, she said, looking up as if she was having a daydream. Come on, it'll be fun. I actually can't believe I said that, said Sasuke, surprised. Plus, we won't get in any trouble. No one will come looking for us for at least a week, Naruto said. I guess when you put it like that, it kinda makes sense. Alright, I'll come too, Sakura said happily. Alright, now how do we do this again? Naruto started examining the scroll to figure out how to make it work. After about half an hour, he finally got it down and they were ready to make the jump. So how many years in the future should we jump? Asked Sasuke. How does 20 years sound? Asked Naruto. Isn't that a little too far? Said Sakura a bit nervously. Might as well keep some surprises, right, Sakura-chan? Naruto flashed a grin. Whatever, I don't mind, said Sasuke calmly. Okay then, 20 years it is. Let's go, Naruto shouted. Time travel seal. Release. And with that, the sealing scroll started to glow a blinding light that engulfed the room, and soon the three genin couldn't see anything. Naruto's eyes fluttered open to see his two teammates right beside him on the ground. They got up only to see that they were right outside the gates of Konoha, but nothing seemed different. Where are we? How did we get out here? Asked Sasuke. Nothing seems to have changed, said Sakura. Let's get back in the village and take a look around before we jump to conclusions, suggested Naruto. Let's move, Team 7. Over at the reception of the gates to the village, a cloaked man standing tall at about 186 cm was checking in after getting back from his personal exile into the unknown, to find the answers he was looking for. We're glad to have you back, Sasuke-sama. One of the gate guards greeted the man. It's good to be back. I've missed this place and my friends, but at least I'll see them all soon, said the grown-up Sasuke. You can go ahead, Sasuke-sama. A Chunin will assist you in finding your way around the village. You have been gone for quite a while, said the guard. I know, but at least I'm never leaving again. Sasuke smirked. That's right. You have a family now, don't you, Sasuke-sama? Yes, and I plan to make up for lost time, said Sasuke with a sincere smile. As the young Team 7 got closer to the gates, Sasuke couldn't stop feeling a little uneasy, and he didn't know why, but as they got closer, the feeling intensified. Guys, I'm not feeling well, he decided to say. Ah, come on, you'll be fine, Teme, Naruto informed his rival. Before mature Sasuke could take a step in the village, he heard a familiar voice coming from the distance. All this time training in the wilderness, his senses had been heightened. Ah, come on, you'll be fine, Teme, he heard. Is that Naruto? He thought. He turned around waiting to see his best friend, but what he saw. Is that me? And Naruto? Sakura too, he said to no one in particular. Okay, now he was interested. He started walking towards them and soon he was right in front of them. Hello there, are you three lost? He decided to toy with them a bit. Oh no, nothing like that. We were just getting back to the village, said Sakura. Being the most social of the three, she had no problem talking to strangers. But this guy, it felt like she knew him from somewhere. Oh, okay then. Mind if I escort you kids? No, it's okay, we're just fine, she answered. Ah, but I insist. It's not safe for 3 kids to walk the streets alone. He flashed a smile. Oh okay then. Thank you very much good as sir. Why am I stuttering like that? That smile, so familiar. You can I ask you something mister? Sakura asked. What is it? What's your name? She asked. Only if you 3 introduce yourselves to me. Name, likes, hobbies, dislikes, dreams for the future or certain ambitions. Mature Sasuke said. It was Kakashi-sensei all over again. The blondie can go first. Okay, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. I like instant ramen but I like the ramen at Ichiraku's better. I hate waiting for the water to boil when making instant ramen. My hobby is training to become stronger. My dream is to become the greatest Hokage in the history of the leaf, making everyone accept me for who I am. Same old Naruto, thought Sasuke. Next one, he said, my name is Sakura Haruno. What I like, I mean who I like is. My hobby is. My dreams for the future. Kya, Sakura squealed. And what do you dislike? He already knew but he wanted to see it again. Naruto baka, she screamed. Mature Sasuke smirked. It's been so long since that day. Finally, you the broody one. He held back a laughter. Fine, my name is Sasuke Uchiha. I hate a lot of things, and I don't particularly like anything either. My ambition is to restore my clan and destroy a certain someone. He said calmly. These are all nice goals you're fighting for and I'm happy to announce to you that all of them will become reality. He said to the 3 of them. What? What do you mean? Asked a confused Naruto. Mature Sasuke smirked. Well, take a look yourself then. He pointed to the future Hokage monument. Right up there the 6th and the 7th Hokage were carved into stone. They were. Naruto, that's Kakashi-sensei in. Thump. Poor Naruto did something he had never done before. He fainted. Well, that's a first, isn't it? Mature Sasuke said while looking at Naruto's unconscious body. Who are you? Asked Kid Sasuke. My name is Sasuke Uchiha. I know, right? Quite the cliffhanger. Anyway, leave a review, PM, and if you like then fav or follow. If the story is received well I will continue because I like the idea. My name is Sasuke Uchiha, said older Sasuke smirking. I'm. What are you? Sasuke was at a loss for words. All this time they were talking to his older self. So that's what this feeling from earlier was. Sasuke thought. So let me get this straight, said Sakura. We came here from 20 years ago to find out what? That Kakashi-sensei was the 6th Hokage and Naruto becomes the 7th? Yeah, that brings up another question. How are you 3 here? Shouted older Sasuke, getting the attention of some bystanders. We can discuss that later but right now we need some answers. Said Sasuke coldly. Like, asked older Sasuke? Like what happened to Itachi Uchiha? Sasuke-kun. Called out Sakura but Sasuke paid her no mind. The only reason I agreed with the Dobi here to visit the future, he pointed to the unconscious form of Naruto on the ground, is because I needed answers that only you could answer. He said to his grown-up self. I see. Well, I take it you want to hear everything now? Older Sasuke asked. Yes, after that we can talk about everything else. Very well. I will tell you the truth about our brother Itachi Uchiha but first, I need to see my family to let them know I'm back in the village. I also have to report to the Hokage about my return, said older Sasuke with a smile. As if on cue, at the mention of the Hokage, Naruto woke up. He looked around and saw Sakura and Sasuke above him and the man who was talking to them in front of him. He then realized he had to do one thing. The tower, shouted Naruto, and as soon as he got up on his feet, he started running full speed to the Hokage's tower. I guess we'll meet him there then, said older Sasuke with a smirk. He's in for a surprise. Outside the door of the Hokage's office, Hinata Uzumaki and her 2 children were waiting for their appointment with the 7th Hokage. Boruto, I can't believe you, said Hinata to her son, Boruto Uzumaki. I tell you I didn't do it, Mom, he protested. Mommy, what did Big Brother do? Asked Himawari Uzumaki. Oh, nothing much. He just painted the Anbu headquarters pink, answered Hinata to her daughter. Oh come on, why won't you believe me? I didn't do it. Boruto asked his mom once again. What am I going to do with you? Said Hinata, pinching the bridge of her nose. Shikamaru Nara got out of the Hokage's office and bowed slightly. Hinata, Lord Hokage will see you now, he said. Thank you Shikamaru-san. Come on kids. said Hinata as she led the two children inside the office. Naruto-kun, we're here, called out Hinata as she stepped inside her husband's office. Hinata. Naruto shot up from his chair and gave his family a big hug. Hello Naruto-kun. I guess you already know about. He cut her off. The Anbu headquarters? Yeah, I got a report 10 minutes ago saying that the walls were painted pink, is that it? He said sitting back on his chair. Dad, look, I never. Boruto started talking but he was again cut off by his father. Boruto, have I ever told you about my pranks? Naruto asked his son. You did pranks, Dad? Boruto asked interested. Oh yeah, when I was your age I did a lot of pranking just like you. He informed. Really? I never knew about that. He said looking down. But I had a reason. Naruto continued. A reason? I did a lot of pranks so that I could get scolded. To me it was far better than being shunned. He said with a serious voice. I'm sorry Dad, but what does that have to do with me? Boruto asked pouting. I want to hear your reason. He asked. Before Boruto even started talking, the door to the office flew open and an exhausted Naruto Uzumaki entered the office screaming. Where am I? I mean him. No, I am mean me. Damn it. Where is Naruto Uzumaki? Right here, said a calm and collected voice that belonged to a white-cloaked figure, standing tall at 188 centimeters. He had blonde hair and deep blue eyes, 3 whisker marks also visible on each of his cheeks. Wait, was he? Hello Naruto. Though I'm very surprised to see my 13-year-old self, I'm in the middle of a family conversation so if we could talk later, I'd be. Wait just a minute here. Family? He looked around and finally realized that they were not alone. There was a blonde boy with blue eyes and 2 whisker marks much like his own at each of his cheeks. He also wore a necklace around his neck with a bolt attached to it. Next to him was a little girl with dark blue hair and the same eyes and whisker marks the boy had. They were hiding behind a tall woman with dark purple hair and white, pupilless eyes. Byakugan, he thought. She was really beautiful too. Now that he took another look at her, she seemed awfully familiar. Hinata? He finally asked. Naruto-kun, what? How? Hinata turned to her husband. She had stopped stuttering years ago, but this was not something you saw every day. Naruto, I'd like you to meet your family, said older Naruto as he pointed to the rest of the Uzumaki family. This is Boruto, your son. That's Himawari, your daughter, and that's Hinata, your beloved wife. Sue, you are my dad from the past? Asked Boruto. I guess, well, not yet. Naruto answered sheepishly. I don't buy it. Boruto said coldly. Yeah, well who asked you? Naruto countered. Naruto and Boruto entered a stare contest, lightning between their gaze, and older Naruto had to break them up. Okay, now that that's out of the way, why don't you tell me something? Asked the orange-clad Hokage. What is it? Why are you here? He yelled comically. Oh, we got a mission from Kakashi-sensei and had to clear up Old Man Third's library, said Naruto with a grin. Oh yeah, I remember that mission. D rank, right? Yeah, but I saw this scroll that could teleport us to a certain place or a certain time. So we chose to come here. As Naruto continued his story about them meeting a man that told him he would be Hokage, older Naruto listened intently, wanting to absorb every detail of his younger self's story. Looks like the man you first met when you entered the village is Sasuke, and yes, Kakashi-sensei was the 6th Hokage and I am the 7th. So, whatcha think? I think I'm awesome. And now, I've also got a family. This cannot get any better. It's everything I've ever dreamed of, said Naruto with a happy look on his face as he flashed a sincere smile. It looks like Sasuke will be here about any minute, so let me tell you a bit about everyone in the village. Older Naruto suggested, followed by Naruto's nod. As Sasuke, his older counterpart, and Sakura made their way to the Hokage's office, they were greeted by the sight of the 7th Hokage sitting on his chair, Himawari on his lap, Boruto and Naruto sitting on the desk, and Hinata by older Naruto's side. Naruto noticed his teammates and older Sasuke standing outside the office and called out to them. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back Sasuke. Older Naruto said to his longtime friend with a smile. It's good to be back. Thank you, Hokage-sama. Older Sasuke teased. And I see you've brought company too. He pointed out. Well, I couldn't leave them alone. What if someone of our age saw them? What would we say then? Older Sasuke asked. You're right, but still I'm surprised. I thought the first thing you'd want to do was see Sakura-chan and Sarada. Wait, Sakura? Asked Sakura confused, looking at older Sasuke for answers. And who's Sarada? Asked Sasuke, he himself confused by the Hokage's statement. Ah yeah, I never told you on the way here. In the future you're my wife and we have a daughter. Older Sasuke said like it was the most natural thing in the world. Naturally, Sakura fainted. Yeah, I expected that to happen, said older Sasuke with a smirk. Sasuke quickly got to Sakura's side, picked her up and laid her on top of the desk. What, she's my wife isn't she? I'm supposed to take care of her. Sasuke said matter-of-factly. Why yeah but not yet. Bah, I give up. Do whatever you want Sasuke, said Naruto. So how long will you be staying here? Asked Hinata the two genin that were still conscious. 6 days. We still need a day to complete the mission we were assigned back home. Sasuke said but was interrupted by Naruto. Wait Sasuke? How are we going to get back? Naruto started to panic. Sasuke didn't want to admit this but Naruto was right. They hadn't thought about how they would return home. What the hell Dobi? You just stranded us in the future. Sasuke shouted at his blonde teammate, his anger growing by the second. Sasuke relax, we still have the same scroll in the Hokage's archives so you'll just use that to go back in time. Older Naruto informed Sasuke trying to get him to calm down. Shikamaru had just grabbed the latest paperwork and was making his way to the Hokage. What he saw in his office was something he'd never forget. There, Naruto and what seemed like Naruto's 13-year-old self were talking to Sasuke and Sasuke's 13-year-old self with a 13-year-old Sakura lying on the Hokage's desk, and the Hokage's family simply listening. Okay, I'll just come back later when things will make sense. How troublesome, he thought to himself. Okay then, if that's all we had to say then I'll take my leave. Don't want to keep Sakura waiting, plus it's dinner time, said older Sasuke as he began to slowly walk out the door. Wait, what about us? Asked Sakura, having woken up a couple minutes ago. Oh yeah, you don't exactly have anywhere to live for a week. If you two want to, you could stay with me, Sakura and Sarada. We have 2 spare guest rooms but Naruto. Older Sasuke explained the situation. If it's okay with you Naruto-kun, I'd like to have Naruto-kun live with us for the week. Asked Hinata. I'm perfectly fine with that. What do you think kids? Asked Naruto. I'm fine with that too daddy. Answered Himawari with a smile. Fine. Answered Boruto coldly as he exhaled a breath he didn't know he was holding. Okay then, I can leave a couple of shadow clones to deal with the remaining paperwork and we can head back home and show you your room, said older Naruto as Naruto nodded. You too, said older Sasuke to himself and Sakura. If we don't get home soon, Sakura won't be happy. He shuddered. As he put the keys inside the lock, just before he unlocked the door to see his wife and child, he turned around to see 2 faces full of eagerness. They must be excited to see how they'll be spending their days together when their time comes, thought older Sasuke. He opened the door only to be greeted by the most amazing, mouth-watering smell he ever encountered. I missed this, he thought. As a child, Sasuke grew up mostly alone, always cooking for himself. It wasn't that good. But now he had a family and a loving wife that cooked amazing. I'm home, he called out and in a few seconds, a black-haired girl with red glasses was in his arms, squeezing the life out of him. Papa, you're back. I missed you so much, said lovingly Sarada. Sarada. Can't breathe, muttered out older Sasuke. Oh, I'm sorry. She quickly let go and dusted herself off. Sasuke for one, was not looking forward to that greeting every time he got home. Sakura however thought it was so cute, and her daughter looked so adorable too. Older Sakura was setting up dinner when she heard the voice of her husband coming from the hall. She quickly ran to the door only to see her daughter squeezing the life out of her Sasuke-kun. She thought it was so cute. She also noticed that Sasuke wasn't alone. Okari, Sasuke-kun, dinner's ready, she said with a smile. Older Sasuke beamed at his wife and quickly walked over to her. He wrapped his arms around her waist as she placed her hands on his shoulder and chest. A moment after they stared at each other's eyes, they were engulfed in a passion-filled kiss that explained just how much they missed each other. Sakura was at the verge of fainting. One last push and she would be done for. Sasuke on the other hand had the deepest shade of red on his cheeks as he too felt a little lightheaded. "I love you," said older Sasuke. "I love you too," said older Sakura. "Yup, that did it." Sakura's body began falling to the ground but was soon caught by Sasuke. This did not go unnoticed by anyone in the room. Sakura was shocked to see herself right before her eyes like she was in her genin days, but was even more shocked that the Sasuke from her genin days had catched her after she fainted. The Sasuke from that time would have just let her fall. "So, should I prepare 5 plates then?" Sakura asked with a heartwarming smile. "Yes, and don't worry. I'll explain everything through dinner, but it's going to take a while." With that, older Sasuke, his wife, his daughter and his young self, carrying a young Sakura bridal style, headed off to the kitchen. "Sakura, wake up." "Sakura, damn it. Hey, can I get a glass of water?" asked Sasuke, poking and lightly slapping the pink-haired girl in his arms. "Sure, just wait a second," answered older Sakura as she reached for a wooden cabinet, taking out 5 plates and the glass of water her young Sasuke-kun requested. "This is gonna be good," she thought. "Here you go." She handed him the glass of water, smiling as he nodded in appreciation. Splash. "Who the hell did that, Shunaro?" Sakura woke up, flailing her arms around, slapping Sasuke hard into the opposite wall. "Sasuke-kun, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean it." Sakura rushed to Sasuke, hovering over him. "OWW, damn it, that hurt. Now I know how the doby feels." Sasuke growled, rubbing his cheek as he slowly got up. "Mama, you really were like that when you were younger?" Sarada asked her mother. "Well, you see, it's more like this, well no, yes? Anyway, dinner's ready." Older Sakura decided to change the subject. Himawari was riding on her father's shoulders, his loving wife right beside him. Naruto and Boruto were glaring daggers at each other, but Naruto couldn't help but marvel at how content with life his older self looked. He had achieved his dream and had a family. His family. "I look pretty happy, huh?" Naruto grinned. Boruto watched his father's 13-year-old self as his face displayed a series of emotions. First it was annoyance, he was probably the reason, then wonder and finally happiness. "Hey, what's wrong with you?" Boruto asked Naruto. "What do you mean? You're grinning like an idiot." Naruto hadn't noticed that he was smiling. "Yeah, I guess I am." He chuckled. "Stop it, it's creepy." Boruto shouted. "I don't see why. I'm actually really happy with my life now to stop smiling anytime soon." "Boruto, be nice. Naruto-kun will be staying with us for a week, so please, stop fighting." Hinata scolded. "But Boruto." Older Naruto used what he liked to call his Hokage voice. "Listen to your mother." "It worked." "Fine, I don't see why not," Boruto said, earning a chuckle from Naruto. "I'm so awesome," he thought. Older Sasuke was enjoying his wife's dinner after being gone for so long until his younger self caught his attention. He was playing with his food and seemed to be deep in thought. Then he remembered. "So, you wanted to ask me something?" he asked, snapping Sasuke out of his thoughts. "I can't seem to process any of this. I have so much to do. Itachi, my clan. What happened? How can I just sit here with a family? I never thought Sasuke, I want you to know the truth about Itachi." "The truth? What do you mean?" Sasuke asked, confused. "Papa, you never talk about uncle." "What's wrong?" asked Sarada. "Let's just say that I made a lot of mistakes. Mistakes I want to prevent from happening again," he answered solemnly. Older Sasuke looked at Sasuke, who was now waiting eagerly for an answer. "What I'm about to tell you is a S-ranked secret that you will never discuss with anyone. Not the Hokage, not Kakashi, no one. Am I clear?" "Yes, now the truth," Sasuke said. His patience was running out. "Okay, firstly, what do you know about the rivalry between the Uchiha and the Senju clans?" Sasuke was confused. What did that have to do with Itachi anyway? He decided to answer. The Uchiha and the Senju were mortal enemies. In the end, they overcame their differences and the leaders of both clans, Madara Uchiha and Hashirama Senju, formed the Hidden Leaf Village, with Hashirama becoming the first Hokage. Sasuke said what was told to everyone at the Shinobi Academy. True, but when that happened, the clan began to lose its strength and soon they were treated like outcasts in their own village. Madara Uchiha defected in search of power, so that one day he could destroy the leaf. Older Sasuke explained. "What does that have to do with Itachi? Just tell me about him," Sasuke shouted. The Uchiha clan planned a coup d'etat, with our father the leader. Older Sasuke said calmly. What are you? Why would father do such a thing? Sasuke was furious. To regain the power and respect the Uchiha lost during the time of the first and second Hokage. But Itachi didn't agree with the plan. Itachi, what did he do? He informed the Leaf Council of the coup, and then they gave him a choice. A choice, don't tell me they. That's right, the clan or the village. Itachi was no fool. He saw the errors in the clan's plan easily. The coup d'etat would leave the village vulnerable to attacks and cause a fourth great ninja war. In the end, he sided with the village. It was for the best. Sasuke was now sobbing, crying for the stupidity of his clan. A stupidity that cost him his family. It was a mission. It was all a stupid mission. I am going to find and talk to Itachi. And when I get back, I'll get stronger and destroy the village that caused my brother so much pain. Sasuke was enraged. Itachi is dead. I killed him before I found out the truth myself. Older Sasuke said with a sad expression on his face. Itachi from my time is still alive then. I'll defect from the village and go find him. Sasuke said. Sasuke-kun, why would you leave us? Aren't you happy in the leaf? Sakura asked, sobbing ever since she heard that Sasuke wanted to leave. Happy? You think I'm happy? These so-called friends of us are living and laughing off Itachi's sacrifice. Sasuke screamed. Sasuke. Older Sasuke interrupted. This stopped Sasuke's outburst and he turned to look at his older self, rage still visible on his features. I told you the truth so that you could avoid the mistakes I did. Not repeat them, he told his 13-year-old self. What do you mean? Asked Sasuke. He was starting to calm down. I will tell you my story and then you will understand. Okay kids, we're here, said older Naruto as he handed Himawari to Hinata so that he could perform hand signs. Release. With that, the seals on the door along with the traps inside the house were deactivated. The house itself was big but not huge. Naruto and Hinata liked it that way because it was cozy but still big enough for a family. Wow, this place is awesome, Naruto said in awe. Older Naruto looked a bit concerned. He remembered how he felt all alone when he lived in that small apartment. He was worried how his younger self would react. Naruto-kun, I haven't made dinner yet. You see, I was going to make it after our visit but things got a little. Hinata started apologizing but older Naruto cut her off. It's okay. I know you intended to make dinner. I can send a clone to go get us Ichiraku's, he said. Yeah, Ichiraku's is the best. Naruto, Boruto and Himawari shouted at the same time, earning a chuckle from older Naruto and Hinata. Alrighty then. Shadow clone jutsu. Older Naruto made a clone that immediately took off. 10 minutes later and the clone returned with everyone's favorites. Miso ramen for both Naruto's, pork for Boruto and Himawari and vegetables for Hinata. They all sat down in the living room and ate quietly. This is really good, better than my time's Ichiraku's, said Naruto. Well, the old man Tucci did some experimenting with the recipe. Older Naruto informed. As he finished drinking the remaining broth, Naruto wiped his mouth with a napkin and sighed contentedly. That was amazing. Best ramen of my life, believe it. He looked around the room to see Boruto watching TV, Himawari sleeping on a couch with a half-eaten bowl of ramen in front of her on the table and older Naruto feeding Hinata playfully. So this is family? It feels nice. He looked around one more time before he decided to get some answers. That was the reason he came here after all, wasn't it? Hey Hinata? Yes, Naruto-kun? Asked Hinata with a heartwarming smile. How did we happen? Hinata blushed a deep red at the question but answered anyway. Well, you see, I kinda died to protect you one day. And then she stood by me through a war. Older Naruto added. And then she got abducted by crazy alien from the moon. Himawari added as well. And then dad figured out he loved mom and ended up together. Boruto finished. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Older Naruto smirked. But what about Sakura-chan? Naruto asked. Hinata stopped eating and looked down to her legs. Older Naruto decided to have a conversation with his dense younger self. Naruto, I'm gonna ask you a few questions. Is that okay? Sure, what's up? Naruto asked. You say you love Sakura-chan. Well, how do you feel around her? How do I feel, huh? I guess I feel happiness. I feel like I'm around family. When I make her smile, I feel like I've accomplished something. And when she looks angry or sad, I want to run for my life. He finished shuddering. You see Naruto, that's what you don't get, and I don't blame you since you've never felt it before to know what it's like. Older Naruto said. What do you mean? What do I don't get? Sakura-chan is like a sister to you, Naruto. Like a sister, huh? When I think about it, kinda makes sense. Naruto smiled. Good. Now, how do you feel around Hinata? Older Naruto asked. Hinata. When I'm around Hinata I feel encouraged, like I can do anything in the world. I feel warm in here. He pointed to his stomach. When I make her smile, it's like my heart is getting heavier, bigger, like I can't hold it in my chest. And when she looks angry or sad. Flashback. Naruto crouched down and dipped his fingers in a handful of Hinata's blood. He clenched his fist as he pointed it at Neji and said in a low voice. I vow to win. He had never felt like this before. He wanted to crush Neji for causing Hinata so much pain. Flashback end. I feel like I want to destroy the person who made her angry. And if that person was me, I wouldn't want to live with myself. He finished. Naruto, that's the closest anyone could describe love. IIL love Hinata? Naruto was really confused. Did he love Hinata without even knowing it? I love Hinata. I love Hinata. I love Hinata. The more I think about it, the more right it feels. He thought. I love Hinata Hyuga. Naruto finally figured it out. Back at the Uchiha family's dinner, Sasuke Uchiha had finished his story and was now waiting for his 13-year-old self to say something. Sasuke couldn't think of anything. He tried so hard to process it but just couldn't do it. All of his life he had trained to become strong enough to kill his brother. Itachi Uchiha, the person responsible for the annihilation of the Uchiha clan. With one exception, Sasuke, his little brother, the brother he thought was more precious than the village. And now he knew that if he went down the path of his revenge, he would lose everything. His friends, his village, even his own brother. The pain, it was too much. His eyes felt like they were on fire. Sasuke, look at me. Older Sasuke commanded. Sasuke looked up. Just the pain of listening to my story awakened his Mangekyo Sharingan. He thought, what's wrong with me? Sasuke asked, putting his hands over his eyes to ease the pain. You have unlocked the Mangekyo Sharingan. The Mangekyo Sharingan? Asked Sasuke. Awesome, said Sarada, staring at Sasuke in awe. By all means leave. Run and cling to your worthless life. That voice now echoed through Sasuke's mind. And when you have the same eyes as me, come find me. Sasuke was shaking. All those memories, the pain, it all came back at once. But there is a catch. To attain these eyes, you must take the life of your best friend. You had to kill him. Wait a minute. Itachi told me that to get the Mangekyo Sharingan I had to kill my best friend. So how? Sasuke asked his older self. It appears that my tale has hurt you more than I thought. I'm sorry, but it was the only way to make you understand that revenge is not the answer. Older Sasuke apologized. All of my life, I trained to kill him. What do I do now? What's my purpose anymore? Well, you still have a reason to keep getting stronger. Older Sasuke said. What is that? Asked Sasuke. To protect your loved ones. I love Hinata Hyuga. Alright, now that that's out of the way, I need you to tell me how the hell am I supposed to explain to everyone that I'm training my younger self when they see us around the village? Older Naruto asked his younger self. Training? Naruto asked with hopeful eyes. Yup. You didn't think you'd meet your future self without learning a few jutsus to help you in your future, did ya? Older Naruto grinned. Awesome, I can't wait. We'll be the best genin around and I'll kick Neji Tami's ass. Naruto yelled, jumping around happily. But Naruto stopped and focused on his older self. Don't expect it to be easy. You are training with the 7th Hokage after all. I wouldn't have it any other way. I promise, I'll master this training. And I never break a promise. Because that is your ninja way. Older Naruto finished. My loved ones? Asked Sasuke. Yes, I have come to realize that true strength comes from protecting the ones you care about. Actually, a friend of mine beat it into me. Older Sasuke smirked. A friend? Yes, I believe you know him too. You mean Naruto? At your rematch? He did. Sasuke was impressed. Older Sasuke nodded. So what do we do now? Asked Sasuke. Now, I'll train you. Answered older Sasuke. Train me? In what? First I'll teach you how to use the Mangekyo, then some jutsu to go with it. Informed older Sasuke. Jutsu? What jutsu? I will teach you jutsu that are very likely to help you in times of need. The Chidori, for example, will be the first jutsu I will teach you. No fair. I've asked you to teach me the Chidori every time you were in the village, but you always said, no. Sarada was angry. Sarada, I still can't teach you the Chidori. The Sharingan, which you still haven't awakened, is a vital part of the jutsu. Only the ones who have the Sharingan can use it safely. Older Sasuke informed his daughter. Wait a minute, now that you mentioned it, Kakashi told me he'd teach me a new jutsu called Chidori to prepare me for the third round of the Chunin exams. Said Sasuke. Well, from what I remember, Kakashi was not the best teacher around. Older Sasuke said, remembering how he was late for the third round of the exams. So I think it will be better to surprise him a little, nay? Alright then, I'll master this training, get stronger, find Itachi and talk to him, and then. Sasuke looked up. Fight to protect my friends and loved ones. Okay, first thing in the morning we'll begin your training. So be ready, cause it sure as hell won't be easy. Ha 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 ha. Older Sasuke began to laugh maniacally. Papa, are you okay? Asked Sarada. I've never been better. Why? Asked older Sasuke innocently. Never mind, she sighed. Well then, it's getting late, so I am off to bed. Sasuke-kun, will you join me? Older Sakura purred seductively. Oh yeah, older Sasuke smirked. He was getting laid tonight and he knew it. What about us? Asked Sakura. What's wrong? Older Sakura was confused. Where do we sleep? Answered Sasuke. Oh, you can pick one of the 2 guest rooms. Sarada will show you where they are. Older Sasuke said lazily. He really needed to go to bed. 2 hours later. Faster. Sasuke-kun. I can't. Sakura, I'm almost. Me too. You're so good at this. Sakura, Sasuke. How can anyone sleep like this? Sasuke thought to himself as he buried his face into his pillow. Sakura, however, was having entirely different thoughts. If this is a dream, please don't wake up, she thought. You see, Sakura had found a small peeking hole in the wall right next to older Sasuke and Sakura's bedroom. And she was taking full advantage of it. Older Sasuke woke up feeling refreshed would be the best word. He looked around and wondered where his tent went. Then he remembered. Oh right, I'm home. He thought aloud. Yesterday sure was crazy, huh? He slowly got up from bed as he rubbed the sleepiness from his eyes. He went to the bathroom to get ready for the day. Today will be a long day, he thought as he washed his face. He went to the kitchen to fix himself a bowl of cereal, but was surprised when he saw his 13-year-old self already there, eating. He sat down and asked, "What's up? How come you're already up?" "I didn't sleep yesterday," he answered coldly, causing older Sasuke to blush a deep red. The future Orange Hokage of the Leaf Village also woke up early, as he himself was feeling refreshed but for different reasons. Yesterday was awesome, and to think it all began with a boring mission. One was certain, the answers he got yesterday had left him with more questions than before. He would have to ask today. Today is gonna be a long day, Naruto thought. 10 minutes later and the entire Uzumaki family was eating breakfast in the kitchen, talking about minor things like most families do. "So Boruto, you're still at the academy?" Naruto asked. "Yeah, this my last year. Finally I can be a ninja," Boruto answered. "Anyway, I better get going. Shino-sensei will be royally pissed if I'm late again. Let me walk you there, kiddo," older Naruto said as he got up from his chair. "No, if people see my dad walking me to the academy they'll think I'm a loser. I said I'm coming. Plus, we haven't finished that conversation we started yesterday, have we?" "Damn it, I thought you had forgotten about that," Boruto pouted. Now, you of all people should know that there are only a few things that escape me. When it comes to my family, well, I guess I can't help but be extra careful." Older Naruto grinned. "Now come on or you'll be late." "Yeah, I get it, I'm coming." Boruto walked to the door lazily. "And you?" He looked at Naruto. "I'll be back in a half hour and then we'll begin your training." "Yes." Naruto did a little victory dance in his mind. Older Naruto and Boruto slowly strolled to the academy silently. Naruto decided to speak. "So, do you remember where we left off? You asked why I do pranks." Boruto answered looking down. "And, do you plan on telling me?" "Well, Boruto, I can't help you if you don't tell me what's wrong." Older Naruto told his stubborn son. "You never help," Boruto muttered out, but Naruto heard it anyway. What? Why do you say that? You know I'll always be here for our family. Except it won't be like that if you're dead. Boruto shouted, getting the attention of people around them. Boruto. Naruto was confused. He wanted to be the best father he could be. And he tried. He wanted to give his family what he never had growing up. So why wasn't that enough? I'm sorry, Dad. I didn't mean to. It's okay. But you know, we've had this talk many times. Still, all the Hokages that have fought to protect the leaf died. I can't lose you. Boruto sobbed as he enveloped his father in a bone-crushing hug. Boruto, I've told you that since I'm Hokage, I consider everyone in this village my family. And to protect my family I'm willing to give my life for them if need be. But what about us? Your real family? Mom and Himawari? Boruto cried. You, Himawari and Hinata are the most precious people in my life and I would do everything in order to make you happy. Quit from being Hokage then. That's what I want. Ever since you became Hokage we hardly spend any time together at all. That's why you pull pranks then? To get my attention? Older Naruto figured it out. Boruto remained silent. I'm right, aren't I? Boruto, that's the wrong kind of attention, you know. You said, you know, you haven't done that in years. Are you getting excited about something? Older Naruto grinned. What is it? Come on, tell me, tell me. Boruto pleaded. Tell you what, I'll come pick you up from the academy and then we'll do anything you want. Older Naruto suggested. Really? You mean it? Boruto asked. Yup. Deal? Deal. Okay then. Now let's get going or you'll be late, again. Older Naruto sighed. Alright, I get it. I'm coming. Meanwhile, outside the Uchiha estate, the sounds of birds and explosions echoed through the field. You're putting too much power in it. Try again. Older Sasuke instructed. Damn it. Fine. Sasuke formed 3 hand signs and called out his jutsu. Chidori. He took off full speed and attacked the tree in front of him. I think you got it down for now. Take a break. I think I get it now. It's all about shape manipulation, when you master the element. Sasuke said, panting. Well yeah, but when you master the Chidori you'll have about 3 more jutsu in the bag. Really? What are they? Sasuke asked. Chidori Stream, a jutsu with a wide area of attack, Chidori Senbon, a long-range attack for multiple targets, and Chidori Sharp Spear, a pinpoint attack aimed for vital spots. Basically the possibilities are endless. WGEN you master change in chakra shape. Older Sasuke informed. I'll just have to work harder then, said Sasuke as he got up from the ground. Don't overexert yourself. You can keep training on the Chidori when you get back to your time. The Mangekyo Sharingan, however, is something only I can teach you how to control. Fine then, we'll work on the Chidori later. Sasuke wanted to get as strong as he could. Sasuke, don't be hasty. You've used a lot of chakra today. The Mangekyo wastes a lot on its own, so training with it activated could be very dangerous. Just rest for now. Older Sasuke suggested. It's okay, I can keep going. Calm down. You've made enough progress already. Learning the Chidori in one day, it's... Well, I had a good teacher. Sasuke teased. They both laughed for a good while before they decided to head out for some omusubi. It was their favorite after all. As soon as older Naruto got back home, he picked up Naruto and they headed out for Training Ground 3. Okay Naruto. The first thing we're gonna work on is your elemental affinity. Older Naruto said. My elemental what now? Asked Naruto, scratching his head sheepishly. Okay, drop the act now. We both know you're smarter than what you let on. I won't help unless you're completely serious. That idiotic front makes enemies underestimate you but not me. Naruto's face instantly changed to a stern and serious look. Okay, so how will we work on my affinity exactly? And what element is it anyway? There we go. That's the Naruto I need for the kind of training I'll put you through. When I'm done with you you'll be a shinobi of high chunin to mid-jonin. Older Naruto said proudly. Alright, now let's get started. Naruto was excited. Your elemental affinity is wind. Your jutsu are weak against fire style but strong against lightning style. So the first step of my training will be mastering wind element? Naruto asked and older Naruto nodded. That's right. After that I'll be teaching you a couple wind-style jutsu and a jutsu created by the 4th Hokage himself. The 4th Hokage? You mean the Flying Raijin? Where did you hear about that? Older Naruto was surprised his younger self knew about that jutsu. Oh, the description of the scroll we used to get here mentioned space and time manipulation much like the flying Raijin. Oh, well I wasn't talking about that, but if we have time we'll work on it too. Ah, that's okay. What jutsu were you talking about then? Naruto asked. The Rasengan, an A-ranked jutsu that requires no hand signs and is entirely made of chakra. A jutsu that utilizes rotation, power and containment. The Rasengan, huh? You know, I think I've heard about it from the pervy sage. Pervy sage, you should respect and listen to him a lot more, you know. Older Naruto said solemnly. Huh, how come? You never know how precious someone is, until you lose him. Remember that, Naruto. Okay, I promise to respect Jiraiya-sensei more. You obviously know something I don't. Don't worry about it now. Hey, now that you mentioned Jiraiya, have you signed the Toad summoning contract yet? Older Naruto asked. Yeah, pervy yes. I mean, Jiraiya-sensei already showed me the summoning jutsu too. Naruto answered. Alright, that makes things easier. We'll work on Sage Mode too. Sage Mode? What's that? Naruto asked confused. After the Rasengan kid. And we still have to work on your affinity. It's alright. Sasuke is probably training too. Don't want to get too far ahead of him. Oh, trust me. When you master Sage Mode you'll be on a class of your own. Older Naruto informed. Anyway, you see that tree over there? Older Naruto pointed to a nearby tree. Yeah, what about it? Create a few hundred shadow clones and make each one of them get a single leaf from that tree. We'll talk about the purpose of the shadow clones after that. Older Naruto ordered. Alright, multi-shadow clone jutsu. With that he made 500 shadow clones and each one got a leaf from the tree. His training has just began. Damn it all. Sasuke yelled as another surge of pain shot through his body. The black flame pattern on his skin was acting out a lot. Take a break. You can't keep going. Older Sasuke advised. Looking at his younger self suffering from the curse mark wasn't pleasant at all. No, I can. Keep up. One more time. His voice was pained and his body was covered in cuts and bruises. He formed 3 hand signs as he activated his jutsu again. Chidori. Soon, his hand was engulfed in lightning and the curse mark advanced further along his skin as another surge of pain brought him to his knees, causing the Chidori to be undone. Fuck, it hurts. It's no good, you've reached your limit. Chakra exhaustion is what activates the curse mark. Older Sasuke said. I know, but damn, it hurts like a bitch. Said Sasuke as the flame pattern started to subside. We need to do something about it, but what? Mine was removed thanks to Itachi. Who would be able to remove a seal as strong as the curse mark? Older Sasuke thought. Do you think we can remove it? Sasuke asked panting. Actually I was just thinking about that. Maybe the Hokage can help us. After all, he is a master of sealing jutsu and seals in general. Naruto is a seal master? How? The sealing arts are extremely difficult to master. Sasuke was in disbelief. To think that his dobi of a teammate would someday be the world's savior, a Hokage and now a seal master. Shadow Clone Jutsu. Naruto created 2 shadow clones to spar with. He infused his kunai with some wind chakra and took off. You are getting the hang of your element pretty fast, Naruto. Older Naruto smiled at his student. Well, I am learning from the best. As he said that he sliced one clone with his kunai along the chest, causing him to poof out of existence. So, this is what Jiraiya-sensei felt like when he was teaching me. Older Naruto smirked. Naruto dodged 2 swift strikes from his remaining clone with a backflip. As soon as his feet touched the ground he took off towards his target with blinding speed. He infused his kunai with more chakra, expanding its length to that of a short blade. He was too fast for the clone to follow his movements and in a matter of seconds, the clone was lying on the ground, clutching at his throat before he too poofed away. You're getting faster and your chakra control is increasing. Older Naruto said. Well, I've almost mastered my wind element. My jutsu can be activated using less chakra and their strength is greater. But Rasengan is another story. Naruto informed looking down. Show me. And no shadow clones for help. All they do is waste your chakra faster when using it. Okay. Naruto started forming chakra in his right hand. Soon enough, the chakra took the shape of a sphere and was rotating with immense speed. Rasengan, he shouted as he attacked the nearest rock. The attack destroyed a part of the stone but not all of it. Not good enough yet. Naruto said as he fell to the ground, panting. You've got down rotation, power and containment. So why is this happening? Then it came to him. Naruto, take off your shirt. Older Naruto commanded. Sure, but why? Asked Naruto as he got up on his feet. Just do it. Then you'll try Rasengan one more time. He answered with his Hokage voice. Naruto took off his shirt revealing the seal on his stomach. Older Naruto put his hand over the seal. 5 elements unseal. Gah, it burns. Naruto screamed. Bear with it for a while. I'm almost done. What are you doing? Fixing what Orochimaru did to you. Older Naruto answered as the chakra focused on his fingertips started to fade. You mean, when the snake bastard knocked me out during the second round he did something to my seal? Naruto asked. Older Naruto released the unsealing jutsu and smiled. Yeah, but don't worry. The seal messing with your chakra is gone. So, that's what was slowing down my training. Pretty much. Now try the Rasengan one more time. Alright, Rasengan. Naruto formed another Rasengan in his hand and took off towards another rock. Needless to say, the rock was destroyed completely. There we go. That's more like it. Older Naruto nodded in approval. Yes, I did it. Naruto yelled happily, jumping up and down. There, calm down. Don't forget, the reason you got it down that fast is because I was the one who taught you. Huh, what do you mean by that? Naruto asked. Jiraiya sensei taught me the Rasengan and I mastered it in a week. I taught you the Rasengan and you mastered it in 2 days. So, it's just easy to learn? No, the Rasengan was created by the 4th Hokage and it took him years to do so. It's because you and I are the same that you learned so fast. Damn it, now I'm more confused than before. Said Naruto pouting. Look, it's because I know you so well that I knew the exact approach and method to teach you. We are the same after all. Older Naruto explained. I think I get what you're trying to say. But I've got to admit, that shadow clone training method is awesome. Well, you and I are the only people that can use this method thanks to our huge chakra reserves. Older Naruto informed. We're just that awesome, aren't we? Anyway, I'm super hungry, Naruto said as his stomach growled. I think Hinata has finished making dinner. Let's go back home. Yay, I love the food Hinata makes. Naruto said, clearly excited. That's good. One day, you'll have your Hinata's cooking all to yourself. Older Naruto smiled. I can't wait to go back and see her. Naruto's thoughts trailed off to the purple-haired girl he came to realize he loved. I'm telling you, that's what I saw. Shikamaru Nara said to the remaining rookie 9. And I'm telling you I ain't buying it. Ino quipped back at her lazy teammate. Her husband, Sai, also nodded in agreement. Shikamaru-san, if what you say is true then why didn't you say anything earlier? He asked. I already told you, I wasn't sure if what I saw was real. But I spent so much time thinking the past couple of days, I'm sure of what I saw. Shikamaru answered. Shikamaru, stop. Jumping to conclusions isn't something you are used to. Why? Because you possess intelligence that has been used to its fullest in the past. What you are claiming right now is foolish. Shino said, impassive as ever. Akamaru and I are getting too tired of this shit. First the war and now this? I've seen many things but Naruto is 33 years old. And the Hokage, not a 13-year-old. Kiba said as he slowly walked away. Fine then. If you don't believe me, you'll just have to see them for yourselves. Follow me, Shikamaru said to everyone. Wait, what do you mean? Asked Choji. We're going to pay a little visit to Naruto. Meanwhile, Kakashi Hitaki and his youthful rival, Might Guy, were enjoying each other's company, talking about random stuff and the state of the village. So Kakashi, how is Naruto doing? I heard our Hokage has been rather busy. Guy asked. Well, Naruto always was special. He's been dealing with paperwork a lot smoother than I ever did. Kakashi answered. Ah, but you had certain unyouthful distractions. Guy pointed to the book in his rival's hands. What, you honestly think I ignored the duties of a Hokage to read this fine piece of literature? Kakashi asked as he stifled a perverted giggle. Bah, your flames of youth have been put out. I will make sure to give you a sample of the hot-blooded power. Are we still talking about Naruto here? Kakashi interrupted. No, I mean yes. Damn it, you are not getting away with this, Kakashi. Not this time. I challenge you, my eternal rival. Kakashi's sweat dropped. Alright fine, what's the challenge? Beat me in a game of rock, paper, scissors and you get to decide the challenge. If I win, I decide the challenge. Guy answered with bright smile. Despite his age and condition, he was still the same, youthful, guy. Nope, not gonna happen. Not 2 challenges in one. These are my conditions. Do you accept them or? Guy, please, I'm tired and. Do you accept or don't you? Kakashi sighed. I'm getting too old for this. Fine, fine. I accept. Alright, with the power of youth. 1, 2, 3. Rock, paper, scissors. Kakashi. Paper. Guy. Rock. Damn it, not again. Guy was crying anime tears. Looks like I win this one. Kakashi said smugly. Alright, what's your challenge? Staring contest. That is all. Wah, what? A simple staring contest is nothing that my guy can't handle. Guy exclaimed proudly. You know the rules. Do you accept? Kakashi asked lazily. Of course. Now let's get started. Alright. 1, 2, 3, begin. The staring contest between the 2 eternal rivals had started, and it wouldn't be over anytime soon. Older Sasuke and his 13-year-old self were just outside the house of TNE 7th Hokage when they encountered some familiar faces. What are you all doing here? Older Sasuke asked the people he now could call friends. We were just looking for Naruto actually. Shikamaru answered. And by we he means him dragging us along with him. Ino added. See, there he is. Shikamaru pointed at the 13-year-old Genin Sasuke for everyone to see. God. Everyone except Shikamaru said at the same time. Anyway, Naruto and I will explain everything later, said older Sasuke as he knocked on the door 3 times. Hinata answered it but was surprised to see so many people standing in front of her. Hello, what are you all doing here? Hinata asked. We came here for Naruto, said everyone at the same time. Oh, well, he's been at training ground 3 all day. If you want you can all. Thanks Hinata. Again everyone said as they all headed towards the training ground. Wait for him here. Hinata finished and with a sigh she closed the door and headed back to the kitchen. How long do I have to keep doing this? Asked Naruto dropping his meditative stance. For as long as it takes. You still haven't synced your chakra perfectly with nature energy. But it's so hard. How can I get this down before I get back home? Actually, it took me about a week and a half to be able to use Sage Mode freely. What? We don't have that much time. I have to get stronger to protect everyone. Naruto yelled. Don't start with me. Here I am, giving you the means to beat the Akatsuki and you whine. You have time, you know? The 2 Narutos were yelling at each other comically. In the distance, the group looking for the Orange Hokage were watching the scene and were having the time of their lives. That Dobi will never change. Sasuke smirked. Look, all I'm trying to do is give you a better future, you know. Older Naruto said. I'm sorry. Naruto apologized. Don't be. We have work to do. And just so you know, I am very grateful about everything. Naruto said. Huh, what do you mean? Training me to become stronger is one thing but what you, Hinata, Boruto and Himawari have done for me in such a short time. I will never forget that. Naruto bowed to his older self, leaving him confused. And what is that? Older Naruto asked. You showed me the meaning of family. He answered. Sasuke decided that they should get back on track with what they were doing and called out his teammate. Oi, Dobi, Teme, how are ya? I'm doing pretty good. How about you? Sasuke asked the blonde. Naruto stared at his rival in disbelief. Okay, who the hell are you and what have you done to Sasuke? He asked. Sasuke merely scoffed. Hey there guys, what's up? Older Naruto said to everyone. Cheerful as ever I see, dickless. Greeted Sai. Bah, bite me. Naruto, we need your help. It's about, older Sasuke was cut off by Sasuke. Me, I need to ask you a favor Lord Hokage. Said Sasuke bowing. Sasuke, what's wrong? Did something happen? Older Naruto was confused. Yeah. Well, actually no. Something is wrong. Sasuke removed his shirt revealing the curse mark seal. I see. So it's causing problems with training, huh? Older Naruto said matter-of-factly. Well yeah. If I'm gonna teach Sasuke how to control Mangekyo Sharingan, we're gonna have to get rid of it. Older Sasuke informed. The Mangekyo already wastes too much chakra. And the seal gets stronger with chakra exhaustion. So you can't use it safely or teach him how to control it. Said older Naruto. So how's your training going? Naruto asked Sasuke. It's going. Other than the curse mark, my skills and jutsu are advancing rapidly. Answered Sasuke. So what about you? I've been through hell. With all this elemental affinity, jutsu and sage mode training, I'm spent. But frankly, it was all worth it. Naruto exclaimed happily. What do you mean by that? Sasuke asked. Well, my skills as of now are near high-level Jonin rank. I could probably beat Asuma and Kurenai-sensei and give Kakashi-sensei or Super Bushy Brows-sensei a run for their money. Naruto grinned. JJ Jonin. Our rank? Sasuke's fists were clenching and he felt fire flowing through his veins. Rage was visible on his features. Calm down, Sasuke. We're both striving for the same goal. Breathe, relax, Sasuke thought, calming himself slightly. His face seemed more calm and collected as his fists unclenched. Naruto, when we get back home, don't lose to that Hyuga. What are you saying? Naruto asked. I'll be waiting at the finals and then. Naruto, I will fight you. Sasuke smiled, a genuine smile that Naruto had never seen before. You got it. Naruto flashed his trademark grin and Sasuke smirked before older Sasuke spoke up. If you two don't mind, we'll get started with the unsealing jutsu, so Naruto, take a few steps back. He warned. Naruto did as he was told and quickly stepped back. Older Naruto flashed through a series of hand signs before he placed his hand over Sasuke's seal. His palm started glowing a light blue color and a moment later Sasuke began screaming in agony and pain. The seal pattern spinned clockwise and the seal Kakashi had placed over the curse mark disappeared. Kakashi's seal is gone. Keep going, Naruto. Older Sasuke said. I know. Damn it, I'm so close to collapsing from chakra exhaustion. Kurama, a little help? Alright kid, we haven't synced in a while and I'm getting kinda excited. Spoke Kurama from inside his mind. Chakra shot out like a flare from the blonde Hokage's body and soon he was in his Kurama Link mode. Naruto could only watch in astonishment. All this chakra. Hua, will you teach me this too? He asked. Older Naruto, not daring to look away in fear that his concentration on the unsealing will break, answered with a low voice. Not this one, Naruto. This is something you'll have to figure out yourself, he said, panting. Soon enough, the black flame-like pattern that by now had spread throughout Sasuke's body started to subside back to the seal and then the curse mark disappeared. It's done, older Naruto said as he deactivated his Kurama mode and fell, motionless, to the ground, joining an unconscious Sasuke. 3 hours later, I'm not gonna lose Kakashi. Just give up, guy. These two were still at it. What happened? Asked a confused Naruto as he stared at the unconscious bodies of his rival and future self. Sasuke's curse mark is gone, but the unsealing jutsu put a lot of strain on his body. As for Naruto, I think using the Nine Tails chakra after all this time took a lot more out of him. Older Sasuke answered. Anyone care to explain what the fuck are these two doing here? Ino shouted while pointing an accusing finger at Naruto and the unconscious Sasuke. Troublesome, Shikamaru muttered. I'll explain later. Right now we have to get them to the hospital. Older Sasuke said. You're not going anywhere. Sasuke-kun, screamed older Sakura as she got closer to the group followed by a battered-up Sakura. Whoa, Sakura-chan, you look like crap, said Naruto before Sakura bopped him on the head. Shut up, Baka, I know I do. Hell, I feel like crap too. How come? Asked Naruto rubbing his sore head. She did this to me. Sakura screamed at older Sakura comically. Now, that's exactly what I endured too. Okay. Older Sakura said sheepishly. What did you do to her? Older Sasuke asked. I trained her. You trained her? She looks like she went to hell and back. Naruto shouted at older Sakura. Hey, I trained like this for 2.5 years straight. It works. They're not staying here for 2.5 years though. So why bother starting that kind of training? Older Sasuke said calmly. Don't start with me, Sasuke-kun. Mind telling me where Sarada-chan is? I thought so. I told you to get her to the academy this morning, didn't I? Older Sasuke was now sweating under his wife's intense gaze. Yeah, so imagine my surprise when I saw her running around the village with Boruto-kun and the rest of their class. Older Sasuke was squirming in place until Shino spoke up. I have a day off from the academy today, so if any students decided to skip today's lesson, it's the substitute teacher's problem, not mine. That said, shut up, Shino. That still doesn't change the fact that Sarada-chan went to the academy alone. Well, I had to train. Sass. No excuses. Older Sakura bopped older Sasuke on the head. Hard. Damn it, woman, I'm sorry, he said, rubbing his head to ease the pain. You're just lucky I stopped all of them and returned them to the academy. Older Sakura crossed her arms. Guys, said Naruto to get everyone's attention. What about these two? He said, pointing at older Naruto and Sasuke on the ground. Oh right, them. Let's get them to the hospital. Older Sasuke sighed. Meanwhile, at the Uzumaki estate, a certain midnight blue-haired mother was scolding her son, again. Why? She asked. Why what? Why did you do it? Oh, I was going to show everyone an awesome prank after school, but then we heard that Shino-sensei wasn't teaching us today and we kinda left. Boruto informed his mother. Kinda? I got a call from Sakura-san telling me that you and Sarada-chan along with the rest of your class were running around the village. It's not like anyone got hurt, you know. And if I'm not mistaken, your father talked to you about your pranks. Hinata said. HMPH, Dad finally got a break from being Hokage and all he's been doing ever since his training. Young Naruto-kun. Yeah, I didn't even know what to call him. Boruto, young Naruto-kun is only staying for 3 more days. It's not like it's forever. Plus, your father has told you all about his adventures in the past. Don't you think young Naruto-kun needs a little help? Boruto scoffed. Anyway, they should be getting back for today. Will you be a darling and help mommy set the table? Hinata asked in the cutest voice she could muster. It worked. Every time. Fine, fine. I'll help. Hey, where's Himawari? She went out to play with some friends. She should be back any minute now. Hinata answered. Should I go get her before we start? Boruto asked. Knock 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 knock. Who the? I think she's here. Knock 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 knock. Himawari, for the love of God, the door's open. Boruto shouted at the top of his lungs. Oops, sorry, said Himawari as she entered the house. Geez, what was that all about? Asked Boruto. My head is ringing so bad I think I'll explode, he said, making an explosion sound. Oh yeah, mommy, daddy and tiny uncle are in the hospital. What? How? What happened? Asked Hinata with concern in her voice. I don't know. I was walking back home when I saw Uncle Sasuke and Aunt Sakura carrying them. I asked them what was wrong and they told me to get back home and tell you to meet everyone at the hospital, and then I ran back here and knocked on the door many times and then. Himawari, calm down. Breathe, Hinata told her. The poor girl was out of breath. I'm okay, just tired, that's all, said Himawari, trying as hard as she could to fill her lungs with air again. Himawari was a gentle kid with a personality much like her mother's. That said, she was just as hyperactive as her brother and father. Now, Boruto, can you set the table for me, sweetie? I'm going to the hospital, but when you're finished I want you to come too. Himawari, help your brother, will ya? Yes, mommy. Alright, we'll meet you there. Bye kids. Be good. And with that, Hinata left for the hospital. We're not gonna set the table, are we? Nope. The 7th Hokage has seen and felt many things. From a living god tree, a rabbit goddess, and gods among shinobi in general, Naruto Uzumaki now wished he was fighting the 10 Tails, Kagaya and Madara Uchiha all together at the same time than dealing with the splitting headache he had now. Fuck, my head feels like crap. Older Naruto looked to his right from where the voice was heard and saw the 13-year-old Sasuke Uchiha on a hospital bed. Where are we? He asked. In the hospital. Gotta say, it looks a lot better than the Leaf Hospital of my time, said Sasuke, looking around the room, noticing the different colors on the wall along with the paintings that they sported. Some were fields of flowers like lilies and sunflowers, or hills that were bathed in the sunlight with bright blue sky above them. It was relaxing. Hey, I've always hated hospitals because they were so boring, you know? And the food was even worse, said older Naruto with a shudder. Sasuke chuckled. So when you became Hokage you just up and changed everything? No, just made some improvements. When you're stuck in bed for so long, looking around and seeing 4 white walls, a door and a window, it gets depressing. Now, it's somewhat better. Older Naruto informed. So what's with the paintings? Asked Sasuke. Ah, I had Sai make some for every room in the hospital. Now, if you can't sleep, you just look at them. They're very relaxing. I've gotta say, I never thought you'd put that much thought into anything. So what's the hospital food? Ramen? Sasuke smirked. No answer came. You have got to be fucking kidding me. Hey, it's 1,000 times better than what they had back then. Some things never change, do they? Older Naruto then mumbled something like, ramen is the food of the gods, earning another chuckle from Sasuke. Then the door opened. What happened? Why were you shouting? Asked older Sakura as she barged into the room. Geez, Sakura-chan. Indoor voice please. My head's still ringing like hell, said older Naruto, covering his ears with a pillow in a very childish manner. God, Naruto. You'd think the strongest Hokage the Leaf has ever had would be able to handle a little headache, no sweat. Older Sakura teased. Sasuke decided to speak up. In any case, the unsealing was successful. Older Naruto immediately turned serious. Show me. Sasuke took off his high-collar shirt and revealed the curse-mark-free skin under it with a smirk on his face. Hee, it worked after all. Guess I haven't lost my edge yet. Older Naruto chuckled. Just then, everyone that was outside the room, including Hinata, stormed inside. Hinata looked especially worried as she ran to her husband's side next to his bed. Naruto-kun, what happened? She asked. Hey Hinata, looks like Sasuke has been training himself too. But young Sasuke had the curse mark and it was getting in their way, so I removed it. Older Naruto informed his wife with a heartwarming smile reserved only for her. So did anything go wrong? How come you're in the hospital? She asked. Well, for the most part, nothing went wrong. But removing a curse mark is extremely taxing. Orochimaru's seals even more so. I almost ran out of chakra, so I asked Kurama for help. Guess I haven't used his chakra in so much time that when I was done I felt extremely drained. I collapsed and we ended up here. Naruto-kun, there's one thing that strikes me as odd. Hinata said thoughtfully. What is it, Haim? Older Naruto asked, confused by her statement. How did your chakra run out? That's almost impossible, and I know that for a fact. Naruto seemed to process this for a while, but in the end he couldn't come up with anything. Honestly, I have no idea. I'll look into this. Now, he turned his attention to the rest of the people in the hospital room. I believe all of you deserve some explanations. It had taken some time to explain everything to the rest of their friends, but in the end, seeing there was nothing they could do, they accepted the situation. Older Naruto and Sasuke left the hospital later that day, seeing that everything was okay and there was nothing wrong with either of them. After that, Hinata suggested that Sakura and Sasuke join the rest of the Uzumaki family for dinner. Everyone accepted. Currently, older Naruto, Hinata, Boruto, Himawari, Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, Sarada, older Sakura and older Sasuke, in that order, around the table, were dining peacefully, enjoying Hinata's cooking in silence. That Naruto couldn't possibly stand another second. Alright, I really like eating with all of you, especially since I've been eating alone for all of my life. But I can't take any more of this. Older Naruto sighed. Okay, what do you want to talk about? Naruto opened his mouth to speak but realized that he didn't really have anything to say. He just couldn't stand the silence. I really don't have anything particular to say. It's just that, I hate silence. Fine then, I actually have something I need to ask you three. Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura looked confused. What is it? Sasuke asked. What will you three do when you get back to your timeline? What are your goals now? Asked older Naruto. Sakura decided to go first. Well, it looks like I have a knack for medical ninjutsu and I am very interested in the arts. So I plan on becoming the best medical ninja the Leaf has ever had and always keep going forward. I'll protect my comrades and walk beside my teammates as their equal. Way to go, Sakura. Older Sakura encouraged her 13-year-old self. What about you two? Older Sasuke asked the other two genin. They seemed to think about it for a couple of minutes when Sasuke spoke. First of all, I will train and become stronger so that I can protect what is precious to me. Then I will find and talk to Itachi Uchiha. After everything is dealt with, I will begin the restoration of the Uchiha clan. Sakura. Sakura turned to look at him in the eye. Will you help me? She fainted on the spot. I'll take that as a yes. And with that he got back to eating the food in front of him, ignoring the surprised glares he was receiving from everyone in the room. -1. Mommy, what did tiny uncle mean and why did tiny auntie faint? Asked the ever-innocent Himawari. Another time Himawari. Another time, answered Hinata calmly. So, Naruto, it's your turn. I don't really know what to do after all of this. Naruto said honestly. What do you mean, Dobi? It's not like anything's changed for you. You'll get stronger just like everyone and fight to gain the respect of the villagers. Then you'll become Hokage, Sasuke said matter-of-factly. Actually, so many things have changed that I don't know where to start. Hinata looked thoughtful for a few seconds before she asked. It's about me from your time, isn't it? Naruto blushed but nodded. I really don't know what to do. It's just that everything's happened so fast that I'm not so sure about my feelings. Now don't get me wrong, I care for Hinata more than anyone right now and I can easily say I love her. But how do I approach her without arousing suspicion? I think I understand how you feel. It's about Sakura-san. Right now, everyone knows about your crush and honestly believe that you like her. Naruto nodded. So it will cause confusion if you go from Sakura to me over week. Naruto nodded once more. I wouldn't buy it. Naruto's sweat dropped. According to you three, your timeline right now is at the Chunin exams 1-month period between the second and third round of the exams. I was the hospital, recovering from my fight with Neji Ni-san. If you simply showed up and told me what you feel I would think you're taking pity on me. So what do I do? What if she does not return my feelings out of doubt? Naruto asked, desperate for the answer to at least one of his problems. Just take it easy on her. After all, I remember I couldn't talk to you for more than a minute without fainting. Imagine if you stormed into my hospital room and confessed to me. Hinata trailed off in her thoughts. I'm not so sure I could do that. I mean, I really want to talk to her. To sort this out, don't forget, we've got to worry about the exams too, and the invasion. Can't have you distracted, Dobi. Sasuke smirked. I think you're right, Teme. Maybe I should figure all of this out after the exams. Naruto said thoughtfully. Speaking of the exams, older Naruto spoke. I take it you both want to make Chunin on your first try? Naruto and Sasuke both nodded. Forget it. What? Why? They both asked, confused but also enraged. Win your matches, but save your strength. If you go all out, then you won't be able to help against the invasion. Don't go showing around your new skills in hopes of getting promoted. The examinations will be cancelled and if you're lucky you may get a field promotion. Older Naruto warned seriously. They seemed to think about it for a while before nodding. I guess that makes sense. And we'll have to fight Gaara too, right? Yeah, nothing you can't handle though. Soon enough, they finished dinner and the Uchiha left the Uzumaki estate for the night. It was a long day and they had come a far way in only 4 days. 2 more and they were going back. Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura all thought at the same time. This is gonna be interesting. Darkness. Pitch black darkness. Naruto stood there, in the middle of, well, the darkness. It was cold. Very cold. Silence. Not a sound from anywhere. He was pretty sure he couldn't even hear his thoughts. The darkness shifted. The ground altered from darkness to a battlefield. He looked around as he processed this change and noticed he was in some sort of crater. Around the crater he could make out the remains of the Hidden Leaf village. Still nothing could be heard. Naruto took a few steps forward when 2 shadows formed in front of him. He stopped. It's about time we were on our way. 9 tails, said the taller shadow with spiky hair and what looked like a cloak with a high collar. Wait, the 9 tails? Naruto wondered aloud as he lifted his shirt to see that the seal on his stomach was still intact. He sighed. What is this? You bastard. I'll kill you for everything you've done. Another shadow shouted. It looked like it was pinned to the ground. It also sounded awfully familiar for some reason. So full of hot air. You can't even answer a simple question. It's over. The cloaked shadow replied. I don't get it. What does this mean? Naruto asked. Then he heard footsteps. He turned to look at the direction of the sound and saw another figure with long hair running towards the other 2. She lunged forward and attacked the tall shadow, only for him to jump back, avoiding the strike. Who is she? Reinforcements? The tall shadow wondered as he stood up. I won't let you hurt Naruto-kun any longer. The woman shouted. What, me? Naruto looked at the shadow pinned to the ground as he realized it was him. Why did you come out here? Just run. You can't win. Shadow Naruto yelled at the woman in warning. I know, she answered timidly. Naruto's eyes widened at the voice he heard. Hi Hinata, he said. What are you talking about? Hinata, don't just jump in here and throw your life away like this. No, I'm here because I want to be. This time, I am going to save you, Naruto-kun. Just what is happening here? Naruto screamed out in frustration from not understanding anything of the situation in front of him. I was always crying and giving up before I even began. I made so many wrong turns in my life I lost count along the way. But, you helped me find my way and take the correct path, Naruto. Shadow Hinata said to Shadow Naruto. I don't need to hear this. Naruto shut his ears with his hands and closed his eyes. I always chased after you. No good. I can still hear everything. Naruto shook his desperately, wanting to catch up to you, to walk with you side by side. I know, damn it. Naruto yelled at the top of his lungs. I want to be at your side, I always did. No, you changed me, Naruto-kun. No, no, no. Your smile saved me. This is too much. That's why. I'm not afraid to die if it means I can protect you, Naruto-kun. Hinata, stop, please. I already know. I feel the same. Naruto felt awful. To throw his mistakes right in his face was too much. The shadow Hinata turned her head and stared directly at the original Naruto, taking him completely by surprise. He gasped and focused on her intently. Because, I love you, Naruto-kun. Naruto felt a pain in his chest. A pain he never felt before. It was like ripping out his heart and crushing it in front of his face. How blind he had been. If all it took for him to realize what he had been missing out for nearly 4 years was a trip to the future, he would have done it a hell of a lot sooner. If he had someone that showed him complete trust, care, comfort, friendship, love while growing up, he wouldn't have been the same. He would have more reasons to try, to never give up, to live knowing that someone out there cared for him. How blind he had been indeed. Hinata, Naruto said in his sleep. Should we let him sleep? Hinata asked her husband, looking at Naruto's sleeping form. Nah, he has to get up. It's almost noon. Older Naruto answered, but he looks so peaceful. Naruto was watching the fight between Hinata and that shadow. He snorted. This was no fight. This was an onslaught. That cloaked figure evaded Hinata's every strike and countered with ones that he had never seen before. He never even touched her directly. He would just dodge everything, and when she got too close for comfort, he would just push her away without lifting more than a finger. Not yet. Shadow Hinata, having twisted her ankle, crawled to the pinned-down Naruto with everything she had left. It hurt to watch, but what could he do? The shadow Naruto looked down in defeat. He couldn't stand seeing Hinata like this. Somehow, he knew that it wouldn't hurt as much if it was anyone else. Even Sakura, but he didn't know why. I know why, Naruto said dryly. Hinata, please don't come any closer. Just, stay down, the shadow said as the cloaked figure stared at Shadow Hinata in confusion. Why? Why would someone as weak as you try to resist? Shadow Hinata made it to Shadow Naruto and, with all of her remaining strength, grabbed the rod that pinned his hands to the ground and pulled, but it was hopeless. Naruto watched as she shuddered and lost all of her strength the second she touched the rod. When you know, you'll only die? The tall shadow asked. Hinata looked up to see Naruto staring directly into her eyes as their gazes locked. Then, with a voice weaker than a whisper, she answered. Because, I never give up. And I never go back on my word. That is my nindo. My ninja way, she smiled. As Shadow Naruto stared at her smiling face, it seemed as if time had slowed down. 1 second, he was looking at the girl that had come to his aid when no one else did. Then another, she was high above the ground. The cloaked shadow brought his hand down and Hinata was slammed, full force, to the ground. He grabbed one of those sharp, black rods and Hinata. Naruto woke up drenched in sweat, panting heavily. He then realized. Naruto, what happened? Older Naruto sat at the edge of the bed next to Hinata, who was watching at the scene with worry. Just had a nightmare. It's nothing. You kept saying my name in your sleep. Hinata informed. I don't think it's nothing, Naruto. Remember, if there's anyone you can truly talk to, that's me. Older Naruto reassured his younger self. Yeah, I know, but still, it felt so real. Almost like a memory. Older Naruto gulped. Both Hinata and Naruto noticed. Naruto-kun, what's wrong? I was doing some research on the time travel scroll yesterday and, come on, out with it. Naruto snapped. It looks like we're merging. Sasuke, Sakura, Sarada, older Sakura and older Sasuke were having breakfast. Sarada didn't have to go to the academy because it was Saturday, so Sakura had prepared a bigger breakfast than usual. Not that anyone minded. Sarada was talking to her mother, telling her all about her progress in the academy so far as older Sasuke listened. Not being in the leaf except for a few special occasions, he realized he had missed a lot of things. Meanwhile, Sakura was studying Sasuke intently. Sure, they were pretty much boyfriend and girlfriend by now, but his behavior changed just as he learned about their future family. She did not want a forced relationship. Sasuke-kun? Sasuke turned to look at Sakura. What is it? See, I was wondering. Are we like B boyfriend and G girlfriend now? Damn, the nervousness is getting to me. Sakura thought. I guess so. Oh, okay. Sasuke turned his attention back to his plate. Sasuke-kun? Sasuke sighed. What now, Sakura? Do you like me? Sasuke choked. What are you rambling about now? He asked. Sarada, older Sasuke and older Sakura noticed the commotion and listened intently. You see, I've noticed that you started behaving differently towards me exactly after you learned of our family. I don't want to force you into a relationship. Sakura stated, looking down. Sasuke sighed again. Sakura. She raised her head to look at him. You're being annoying. Older Sasuke stifled a laugh and older Sakura elbowed him in the ribs. Ow, he complained. Suck it up, she answered. Oh, I see, said Sakura, all her doubts and fears now pretty much confirmed. But, she looked up again? I like it. Sakura looked dumbfounded. She did not expect this at all. Sure, you can be annoying sometimes, but it adds to the mix. Plus, the only thing I used to hate more than Itachi was the fangirls. And I can clearly see you're not one of them. Otherwise he wouldn't be here. He jerked his thumb over his shoulder, pointing at older Sasuke. You're brash, outgoing, tough and bossy. But you are also calm, collected and also gentle when you want to. It's like a mystery I yearn to solve but just can't. That is what interests me in you. And that is also the reason I am okay with us being more than teammates. He finished and leaned closer to her face. Sakura was overwhelmed. She knew better than anyone that Sasuke didn't say anything he didn't mean. And that was enough to put her at ease. She leaned closer to him as well, and just as they were about to close the gap between them. Ew, gross. Sarada made gagging noises and ran off to her room. What do you mean, merging? Naruto asked. As certain events between two alike timelines unfold, and the events of one timeline get closer alike to one another, the timelines merge in time, resulting in the absorption of one personality by another. Older Naruto explained. You said what now? Look, take the Chunin exams as an example. The memories and experiences I've acquired during my Chunin exams will be merged with your memories and experiences when that specific event has occurred in both timelines. Eventually, they will become one and there will be no differences between the two timelines. It's the same reason I can't remember myself time traveling and meeting my future self. Naruto took a few minutes to process this before speaking. So you're saying that you don't remember yourself traveling to the future because this timeline has merged with another. And now, when we get back, ours will be merged with yours in turn? Yup, pretty much. He grinned nervously. Naruto-kun, what will happen to us? Hinata asked. Oh, as their timeline progresses and follows events we've been through, there won't be a difference. In time, they will have the exact memories and skills as us, and one day they won't remember traveling to the future at all. Then, they will meet Team 7 from the past again and the cycle will begin all over again. Makes sense, I guess. Hinata nodded. So do I tell Sasuke and Sakura-chan? Naruto asked. Wouldn't matter. In the end it's still the same. The only difference is you can change your future however you like. How knows, maybe when I time traveled, I did something that resulted in me and Hinata getting together, and in an alternate timeline, me and Sakura are together and Sasuke is dead. Older Naruto shrugged. Okay, I'm just gonna go back to sleep and think about this. Naruto said. Oh, and Naruto, what's up? He asked. That nightmare of yours, I think I know what it is. I think the merging has already started and what you saw was indeed a memory. My memory. If that was indeed a memory, I'll do anything takes to prevent it from happening again. Naruto thought as he crawled under his bedsheets once more. Things will change, I promise. And I never break a promise. Just like you, Hinata. Naruto fell to his knees once more, panting for breath. Damn it, still no good, he thought to himself as he rose to his feet for the 11th time that morning. Older Naruto observed his younger self from afar, wondering what he was doing. Naruto drank some water from his flask and poured the rest on his head, cooling himself off. This time I'll get it right. He formed the necessary hand sign and created 2 shadow clones. Alright guys, one more time. Right. Naruto focused his chakra and created a Rasengan on his hand. One clone added wind chakra to the mix while the other focused on control of the chakra shape and element. Soon, the Rasengan's color turned pure white and 4 blades spun around it fast. It's done, Naruto exclaimed as he observed his new jutsu. Wind style. Rasengan is complete. Now, you focus on increasing the size of it and you on the time it can be maintained. Both clones nodded and focused on the jutsu once more. Ah, so he did it at last. And I didn't help him with that one at all. Naruto thought as realization appeared on his features. Fire style. Fireball jutsu. Sasuke called out his jutsu and shot the fireball straight at older Sasuke. Good but not enough. Older Sasuke jumped out of the way, avoiding the fireball with ease when Sasuke suddenly appeared behind him, a low-power, non-lethal Chidori in hand. You're getting faster. Imitating the Aminato Hikara with mere Sunshians is clever. Older Sasuke praised. I've been thinking, Sasuke admitted with a grin. But, what? Older Sasuke stopped the attack by grabbing Sasuke's wrist with lightning-fast speed. Think Sasuke's and Itachi's encounter in part 1. You can't attack if you can't move. Sasuke's grin widened, surprising older Sasuke. You should know better than thinking that can stop me. Sasuke said calmly. What do you mean? Sasuke closed his eyes. 1 second later, his body turned into black crows, flying off and around older Sasuke. Genjutsu. Older Sasuke realized. Just getting started. Sasuke's voice sounded from all around the older Uchiha. You're being naive, Sasuke. The Mangekyo's genjutsu can be broken by another Mangekyo easily, something that I have. Then by all means try dispelling it. No, that's enough for today. Don't want you exhausting your chakra overusing the Mangekyo Sharingan. HMPH, fine. Sasuke appeared with a grin still plastered on his face as the crows all disappeared at once. You've come a long way in 6 days, Sasuke. Older Sasuke said, seething his katana. I think Gaara will be out cold before the invasion even begins. Sasuke replied, still grinning. Let's list what you've learned so far. I've mastered the Chidori and other related techniques like Chidori Stream, Senbon and Sharp Spear. I've learned every basic Sharingan genjutsu and I'm learning more uses for the Mangekyo like the Tsukuyomi and Amaterasu. I haven't used the Susanoo yet because of the risks you have mentioned. I have signed both the Snake and Hawk summoning contracts and can use them at the same time. I've also refined my other jutsus like the Fireball and Phoenix Flower jutsus. Older Sasuke nodded, more than pleased with the results of their training. So, tomorrow's the day, huh? He asked. Yup. Lord Hokage already has the scroll ready. Why are you calling him Lord Hokage anyway? I dunno. I don't use honorifics at all. They're used for respect, something I didn't have for anyone in the leaf of my time. But Naruto. It's that special thing about him, right? He asked. Sasuke nodded. Yeah, I never believed the nonsense he kept sprouting. But he did it. Well, not yet but, you know what I mean. I feel like he's earned my respect. And I'll make sure to tell him you told me that. Please don't. Yees. Naruto shouted at the top of his lungs, alerting almost everyone in the leaf. What the hell was that? Asked Sai as he stared at his now ruined painting. I think it was Naruto. But why would he? Who cares? He interrupted his wife. My painting is ruined. Ruined, I tell you, he said, pointing at the painting of a beautiful sky, now sporting a white smudge over the sun which should obviously be a cloud. It's not that bad. You can just paint over it. Suggested Ino, patting Sai on the back. No, it's just not the same. Hinata was cooking dinner when a shout from the backyard made her drop the dishes she was holding, breaking into tiny pieces against the hard floor. Naruto-kun. She ran to check what that was all about. Older Naruto, startled by the sudden shout of victory, fell off the tree where he was observing Naruto from, landing hard on his butt. OWWW. Hey. What the hell was that all about? He asked, rubbing his sore ass. I did it. Here, look, answered Naruto holding out his hand. The 2 clones formed the wind style. Rasengan once again, only this time, much bigger and the wind blades around it almost 5 times their original size. I call it the wind style, Rasen Shuriken. Awesome, right? Asked Naruto as the jutsu faded. Older Naruto sighed and created a Rasen Shuriken in one hand within 3 seconds. "Ah, come on. Sorry kid, maybe next time. But I've been training so hard. I thought I had come up with an original jutsu. It's not fair. Let me guess. You saw it in a dream, right?" Naruto looked down and nodded. "I taught you Rasengan, 10 wind-style jutsus, Sage Mode, and I also gave you the formula for the Flying Raijin. We also worked on your chakra control and improved your taijutsu and academics with the Shadow Clone training method." "Why? Oh, why would you need to work on another jutsu right now? You guys are leaving tomorrow." "Yeah, but I'm worried." Older Naruto raised an eyebrow. About Neji, Gaara, Itachi and all the others who'll come. "Are you really worried about that? If I could do it, you can do it. And don't forget you still have time to train. You go back tomorrow and the third round is in 2 weeks from that," said older Naruto. Hinata came out of the house and ran towards them. "Naruto-kun, what happened?" Naruto looked up to see Hinata's worried face and instantly felt horrible. "It's nothing really. I am sorry for making you worry, Hinata," he apologized looking down. "Oh, it's okay. I was just startled, that's all," she answered with a small blush. Naruto smiled at the older version of his love. Things had changed for the better. The only thing he could do for now was wait for Team 7's return to their own timeline. "Hey Naruto?" Naruto called his older self. "Yeah, what is it?" he replied. "Can I go find Sasuke and spar with him? Please," Naruto pleaded with older Naruto. "Why are you asking me? Why am I asking him? I don't know why, but it just feels right," Naruto thought. "I'm not sure. Anyway, can I go?" Yeah sure. Just be back before dinner. I guess." "Really? Thanks." And with that he ran off to older Sasuke's house. "Did you see it in his eyes?" Hinata asked her husband. "Yeah, it feels weird." Older Naruto shuddered. "Ah, don't be like that. He really looks at you like a son does his father." Sasuke and older Sasuke had just finished sparring again when they saw a figure dressed in orange running towards them from the distance. "Is that Naruto? What's he doing here?" Sasuke thought to himself as Naruto stopped in front of him. "Hey Sasuke, I want you to spar with me," Naruto said, simply making both Uchiha to sweat drop. "Always straight to the point, eh Naruto?" Sasuke asked. Naruto just grinned. "Alright fine, I'll fight you, but nothing serious. The main event will be at the exams, got it?" Naruto nodded furiously and entered his fighting stance. Sasuke observed Naruto as he entered his own fighting stance. He noticed that Naruto had this new air about him that was akin to confidence. Sasuke smirked and settled into his stance. "Are you ready?" older Sasuke asked. Both Naruto and Sasuke nodded. "Begin." He brought his hand down and jumped back as the two genin lunged at each other with speed only matched by shinobi above high chunin level. Their strikes evenly matched and calculated. One punch, one opening, one block, one counter. The cycle kept going for 5 whole minutes. Their attacks and defenses were evenly matched. Sasuke jumped back, gaining some distance. His hands a blur while he preformed the necessary hand signs. Fire style. Phoenix flower jutsu. He shot multiple fireballs at once. Naruto jumped, ducked and weaved around them, closing in on Sasuke. "Got you now." Naruto jumped up and formed 3 hand signs. Wind style. Gale fist. He thrusted his fist forward and a strong gust of wind knocked Sasuke off his feet, barely managing to dodge an axe kick from Naruto. Their taijutsu match kept going for another 10 minutes before Naruto decided to use his shadow clones. Shadow clone jutsu. He created 10 clones and charged at Sasuke again. Shadow clones, huh? Useless. As all the clones charged at him at great speed, Sasuke activated another jutsu. Chidori stream. Lightning coursed through his body, shocking all the clones that made contact with him. 10 poofs later and only Sasuke stood at the clearing. Where did he go? He wondered as he checked at every direction. Except from below. A clone rose from the ground and held Sasuke from behind, not letting him move, leaving him totally exposed to any move that would follow. Naruto's sun shined in front of Sasuke, Rasengan in hand, grinning all the while. "What's so funny?" Sasuke asked, slightly irritated by that smug grin. "I'm not laughing cause it's funny. I'm laughing cause I finally caught up with ya." Sasuke scoffed. "You know I could just use the substitution jutsu, right?" "Yeah, I figured as much. Anyway, this was just the tip of the iceberg, wasn't it?" Naruto asked. You're right, let us end this at a draw. This match can wait, fought the Chunin exams. When that happens, full power, right from the get-go. Got it? Sasuke held out his hand, using the seal of reconciliation. You got it. Naruto held out his hand as well, completing the seal, thus ending the sparring session. This could be the start of an everlasting friendship. Meanwhile, Sakura had been observing the match between her teammates this whole time. I really am just a burden, aren't I? Well, no more. With newfound determination, she ran back inside the house to find older Sakura. She was weak and she knew it. She knew that if she didn't focus on her ninja career or her training anymore, that she would end up either dead or alone, because she was too weak to protect her comrades. She needed training, knowledge, jutsu scrolls, something. Anything. She walked inside the kitchen to see older Sakura slicing some tomatoes. She decided to ask, "What are you doing?" "Oh, just making tomato soup. It's Sasuke-kun's and Sarada-chan's favorite. They just love tomatoes for some reason." Older Sakura sighed. Really? Good to know. Yeah, it is. So anyway, I need to ask a favor of you. Sakura said, breaking the awkward silence. Oh, and what would that be? Older Sakura asked, already thinking about what it might be. I want you to train me. What? Look, I get it if you don't want to train me, but I just need a bit more. I tried to train you, but you said I was crazy and extremely violent. Older Sakura interrupted. Yeah, but I didn't know how important it is to be able to protect something special. I want to be stronger so I can be of use to my team. Older Sakura seemed to think about it for a few moments before answering. Alright, I'll help you. Geez, really? Thank you so much. Yeah. You know we don't have time to teach you anything, right? Yeah, I thought so. Don't you have some kind of scrolls that I could get back with? Asked Sakura. Damn it, this is a lot harder than I thought. Naruto sighed once again, throwing the scroll away and opening another, blank one. Using sealing ink, he drew the formula once more and tested it. Another failure. What am I doing wrong? The seal is fine, but the formula for it is still missing something. He grabbed another kunai and with swift, precise strokes, Naruto drew the seal and focused his chakra. Come on, he said, crossing his fingers. He watched the seal's color turn from black to yellow and back to black in less than a second. Unfortunately, a second wasn't enough. Damn it, Naruto slammed his fist on the desk, the frustration driving him crazy by now. The room was dark, lights turned off but a small lamp above his head. He had locked the door 2 hours ago, noises, commotion and distractions the last thing he needed. Meanwhile, the Hidden Leaf's 7th Hokage stood patiently outside Naruto's room, eager to see the results. The door opened and Naruto walked out of the dark room, face looking down and a look of depression on his face. So, how did it go? Older Naruto asked. Naruto ignored the question and headed downstairs for dinner. Hinata set down the last plate, Boruto and Himawari already waiting for Naruto and their father, his 33-year-old self, to sit down with them. Naruto sat down and placed food on his plate, although he couldn't find the energy or appetite to take even a single bite out of the grilled meat. Older Naruto sat down too, not before giving his wife a quick kiss, in turn making her blush slightly. So Naruto-kun, how did you do? Hinata asked. Naruto stopped playing with his food and looked up. Not good. I don't get it, what's the big deal? It's only one jutsu. So what if you don't get that one? Boruto asked Naruto. I worked for more than 10 hours working on that goddamn formula, but it wouldn't activate. The kanji for the seal is perfect. So what's wrong? Naruto asked his older self. Look, Naruto, the flying Raijin jutsu is the hardest one to learn for a reason. If it wasn't, then the leaf's enemies like the hidden stone would have replicated the jutsu a long time ago. So Dad made it so that there's a special connection between the users. Older Naruto explained. Like the summoning jutsu? Naruto questioned. Close but not quite. You see, the bond used for summoning contracts is blood, right? Naruto nodded. So imagine, what would be the bond between two places connected with each other through a sealing grid? Naruto thought for a bit before answering. The grid's transmitters, I guess. Exactly. The transmitter in your case is a kunai with the seal. So if a summoning uses blood to activate the connection between summoner and summon, then the formula for the jutsu uses chakra? No. It's not that easy. Anyone with great chakra control could pull it off then. Older Naruto explained, "This is crazy. I'll never get the jutsu down before the exams. I only have 2 weeks." Naruto complained, "Anyway, eat up and I'll go fetch the scroll, okay?" Naruto nodded. Older Naruto got up and smiled at Naruto. "Everyone will be there to say goodbye. You go get Sasuke and Sakura," he said as he walked out of the house. "Sasuke, get out of the room. Naruto will be here any minute." Older Sasuke called, "No, I don't want to go yet." A voice from the other side of the door replied. Older Sasuke sighed. Sakura and older Sakura stood behind him. "Sasuke-kun, come on. Don't you want to see your friends?" Sakura called, hoping that she could persuade him. "Why? I have family here. Why would I need them anymore?" "Ah, come on, don't say that." "Well, I didn't think that the day would come so soon." Sasuke sighed. "Papa," Sarada called from downstairs. "Sarada, what's wrong?" Older Sasuke called. "Uncle Naruto is here, I guess." "Huh? What's that supposed to?" He saw 13-year-old Naruto standing in the door. "I still don't know what to call him." "It's okay, Sarada. This time tomorrow only one Naruto will be around. Are they ready yet?" "We're leaving in a few minutes," Naruto said. "Well, Sakura is ready. What about Sasuke?" he asked, confused. "He's locked himself in his room and doesn't want to go back." Older Sasuke sighed. "What?" Naruto ran up the stairs and knocked on Sasuke's door. "Sasuke, open up." "No, you and Sakura-chan go without me." Naruto turned to look at Sakura with a dumbfounded look on his face. "Chan? We'll explain later," she said, and he knocked on the door again. "Teme, if you don't come out right now, I'm busting the door open and dragging you out." "Why can't you go without me?" "What are we supposed to say? That a book fell on your head and killed you during the mission? That's not a bad idea. Get out now." "Alright, I'm coming." He opened the door and stepped out fully dressed and ready to go. "After the exams we're leaving to find Itachi. Understood?" He shot him a death glare. "Oh, okay, Sasuke. And now let's go." "Wait a minute, I'll go pack up," Sakura said and ran into her room. 3 seconds later she walked out with a bag full of scrolls on medical ninjutsu. "Sakura, what's with the scrolls?" Naruto asked. "She gave them to me." With her hands full she looked at older Sakura. "Make sure you read them, okay?" she asked, but it was more of a statement than a question. Hi. "Alright, let's go." And with that, Team 7, older Sasuke, older Sakura and Sarada left the Uchiha estate. Kakashi Hitaki slowly walked towards the third Hokage's house, nose buried in his Icha book. "I've left them alone long enough. Time to pick them up," he thought. Naruto looked around the Hokage's office. Like older Naruto had said, "Everyone is here," he thought. "So this is it?" Boruto asked. "Yeah, can't say I didn't have fun though." Naruto replied. "You know, it was nice." "Huh? Nice how?" "You know, as to I mean. We bickered a lot but, you're cool," Boruto said in a low voice. "Aw, thanks. That means a lot, you know?" Naruto joked. "Hey, does that mean I'm not cool anymore?" Older Naruto asked in a mock-hurt voice. "HMPH, you wouldn't know cool even if it dropped the Hokage monument on you, old man." Boruto scoffed. Older Sasuke laughed at his best friend's predicament. "So you're really leaving?" asked Himawari quietly. "Yeah, but I'm sure I'll see you again." "Really? How?" she asked again, making everyone blush at the question. Just trust me on this one, okay, Hima?" Naruto asked nervously. "Oh, okay." She gave him a quick hug and ran back to Hinata. "Take care, all 3 of you." Hinata smiled. Team 7 nodded. Sarada left her mother's side and walked over Sasuke and Sakura. Without saying a word she hugged them tightly, making Sasuke wince in pain. "Sarada, can't breathe." "Oh, sorry." She stepped back and smiled. "Hey look, Sasuke-kun. You got one of Sarada-chan's hugs earlier than you thought," Sakura said as she nudged him in the elbow. "Yeah, I hoped I could postpone that for at least 10 years. Sasuke answered, making Sakura blush. "So, we've all said our goodbyes, now, are you 3 ready?" Older Naruto asked, holding up the time travel scroll. Team 7 nodded. He handed the scroll to Naruto. "Naruto, will you do the honors?" he asked. Naruto took the scroll and opened it. He channeled chakra through the seal and focused on the timeline he wanted to return to. They were going home, better than ever. Time travel seal. Release. Kakashi stood inside the library, he himself admiring the Hokage's collection. The only question in his mind, where are they? Just then, blinding light filled the room, forcing him to close his eyes. When he opened them again, his 3 students were standing right in front of him. Naruto looked around, observing his surroundings, somehow failing to notice Kakashi a few feet in front of him. "We did it! We're back!" he cheered. "Back from where, Naruto?" Naruto turned around, Kakashi towering above him with a questioning glare. Kakashi-sensei, I asked you a question, Naruto." Kakashi said. "Actually, sensei, we run out of supplies, so we were out shopping." Sakura lied. "Sakura!" Naruto exclaimed, confused by his teammates' behavior. Why would they lie? Kakashi was thinking the exact same thing. "And what about that flash just now?" Kakashi questioned again. "Naruto has been working on a new jutsu." Sasuke lied as well. "Sasuke." Kakashi sighed. If they didn't want to tell him, then they wouldn't. But still, they both defended Naruto. That was progress. "Alright, you don't have to tell me. Anyway, clean the rest of the place up. I'll be waiting outside of the Hokage's tower. Lord Third has returned, so we can go get our mission payment." He gave them an eye smile and sunshined away. "Guys, why did you lie?" Naruto asked his teammates. "Naruto, I think it's best if no one finds out about our little escapade." "Don't you think so?" Sakura asked. "Yeah, but besides, now we can show off what we learned and take these exams by storm. You can impress everyone with what the dead last can do now." Sasuke smirked. "Okay, I guess you guys have a point. Let's clean up this place and go see the old man." Team 7 grabbed their mops and dusters and got to work. Naruto made 10 clones, each one equipped with their own duster. Sasuke sunshined from one place to another, making quick work off all the different shelves. Sakura mopped the floor with great speed, determined to catch up to her teammates. 20 minutes later they were in the Hokage's office, collecting their mission reward. "Good job, Team 7. I'm sorry Kakashi tasked you with this in the middle of the Chunin exams." Hiruzen said, handing each one of them their money. "It's okay. Like Kakashi-sensei said, at least we learned something." Naruto said cryptically. "Okay then, Team 7 is dismissed." Hiruzen waved them off. "So what are you 3 going to do now?" Kakashi asked his team. "I'm going to buy a new outfit. This dress isn't really the most appropriate attire for a kunoichi." Sakura said. "I'm going to buy a new set of training dummies. The ones I have now won't live to see another day," said Sasuke. "I'm gonna buy some new kunai, scrolls and sealing ink." Naruto said like it was the most natural thing in the world. "Naruto, why would you need scrolls and sealing ink?" Kakashi asked. It's a secret," he answered, but it came out more like a question. "Alright then, Sasuke, when you're done, come find me and we'll begin your training for the exams." Kakashi said. "No thanks." Sasuke replied simply and walked off. "I'm sorry, what now?" "Sakura, are you going shopping now?" Naruto asked and she nodded. "Yes, wanna go with me? Or will you go later?" Sakura asked. "Nah, I'll go with you. Could use some new clothes." They walked off together, leaving a very confused Kakashi behind them. "Okay, that's not my team," and with that he walked off too. Naruto and Sakura were walking along the streets, earning questioning glares from familiar faces. What the hell is wrong with everyone? Naruto wondered aloud. "I think they don't realize that we're friends now." Sakura answered. "What do you mean? Weren't we friends before?" "That's not what I meant." "Sure we were. But now, Team 7 finally feels like family." "I guess so. So Sasuke is my brother and you're my sister?" Naruto said. Sakura stared at him. "That's how you feel about me?" she asked and he nodded. "I'd love to be your sister, Naruto." She smiled at him, earning a grin from Naruto. They went into a shinobi clothing store near the Hokage monument but couldn't decide what to get. After about 2 hours, Naruto settled for a black, uniform-style jacket with an orange zipper. He also got a red armband with a red spiral symbol, the same one he had on his old uniform's back. He decided to keep his orange pants. Naruto stepped out of the changing room, revealing his new attire to Sakura. "So, what do you think?" Naruto asked, pulling up his sleeves. Sakura stared at him for a good while before she managed to speak. "You look a lot better. I think black looks good on you and now there's a lot less orange," she said. "Really? I like orange. I think I'll keep the pants for now. The headband is a little off though. Black, orange and blue don't really match." "Yeah, I think I'll change it to black too." "Oh, thank goodness. For a second there I thought you'd get it in orange too." Sakura sighed in relief. Oh no, God no. I like orange, I'm not color blind for God's sakes. He replied in a mock-hurt voice that made both of them laugh. So, like what I got Naruto? Sakura asked when her laughter finally died down. Sakura had settled for a red, sleeveless kippou dress with a white circle on her back. She wore a black obi around her waist and also got a pair of gray elbow protectors with matching knee protectors. She also bought a pair of black gloves. You look better too. Better suited for combat but still very nice. Naruto admitted. Aw thanks, brother. She added the last part, smiling. Naruto stared at her, his eyes watery and on the verge of tears. You too sis. You too. Sasuke punched away at his training dummy, dents already on its surface. Sweat dripped from his eyebrow as he threw another left hook, ripping its head off, splinters flying in every direction as the wood got smashed by Sasuke's fierce attacks. Damn it, that was my last one too. Sasuke sighed and put the ruined dummy away with the others. Naruto stood atop the fourth Hokage's head, watching over the village he called home. Whenever he felt down or lost he would get up there and think. He always felt a special bond with that place. Now he knew why, and he wanted to laugh. Laugh for not realizing it earlier. All the evidence was right in front of him. His birthday, his last name. The name of a clan lost long before the time of his father. His mother's last name. If only he had done a little research, he would have known sooner. Sure, he was angry at the old man and the pervy sage for not telling him, but they surely had their reasons. For now he'd keep it a secret. When I get the flying Raijin down, they'll all know. Just watch me. Dad, Mom. It's already been a week since Team 7 returned to their timeline and things were going well for everyone. Naruto had shown progress with the flying Raijin, but there was one other thing in his mind ever since he got back. Hinata Hyuga. The day after they got back he searched for her. And the day after that. And the day after the last one. He had spent 5 days looking for Hinata, but it was like she had just disappeared. Until he ran into Kiba and Shino, who told him that Hinata was still in the hospital and wouldn't be released for until a week. Stupid Naruto. Sasuke had spent every day mastering and refining his techniques, and when he wasn't doing that he was doing chakra control exercises to get his reserves up. Not much progress with that. Sakura was also doing remarkably well. She had been studying the scrolls older Sakura gave her for hours every day and had gotten down the basics. It seems like all of my students are a bit different. Kakashi thought before putting his book away. He sighed as he observed Naruto and Sasuke in front of him. It looks like these two have matured the most. Shinobi Kumite, are you both ready? Naruto and Sasuke both nodded. Hajime. Naruto took out a pair of kunai and Sasuke jumped back, gaining some distance between them. Naruto grinned. So what have you been doing for the past week? He asked, throwing a kunai at Sasuke. I've been progressing. Sasuke answered as he deflected the kunai. Naruto swiped swiftly without letting up for a second, forcing Sasuke to use substitution. Shadow Clone Jutsu. 10 clones poofed into existence. Shadow clones. Sasuke weaved a few hand signs and called out his technique. Fire style. Fireball Jutsu. The fireball eliminated 6 of the clones. The 4 remaining clones saw the opening and lunged at Sasuke with newfound ferocity and coordination that Kakashi had never seen before. He's coordinating his clones' attacks perfectly. Naruto never did that, Kakashi thought to himself. He refocused on the spar when he saw the Naruto's weaving hand signs. Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu. That's a new one, Sasuke thought as he either side-stepped or blocked the shuriken with a kunai. Naruto used this jutsu as distraction while his clones prepared another assault. Wind style. Great breakthrough. The gusts of wind forced Sasuke back as the original Naruto lunged at Sasuke once more. Sasuke could feel the bruises forming on his skin and chuckled. Naruto, you've been training. Sasuke said, grinning. Naruto grinned and rubbed the back of his head. Not much though. I still need to get that jutsu down too, remember? Sasuke nodded. Anyhow, I think Kakashi is having a heart attack. He's probably thinking something like, who the hell are we and what happened to his team? Yeah, I think so too. Let's end this on a high note. Naruto said as he put away his kunai. HMPH. Fine. Sasuke made 3 hand signs and called out his jutsu at the same time as Naruto. Lightning style. Lightning Dragon Jutsu. Wind style. Great Banshee. The two techniques clashed, kicking up wind, dust and leaves everywhere as Kakashi stared at his two students with shock. As the jutsus faded away, Naruto and Sasuke stood there panting but grinning nonetheless. Kakashi got over his shock and coughed to get their attention. All right, you two. That was great. Now, finish the spar with the seal of reconciliation so that I can have a word with you. Naruto and Sasuke paled but did as instructed. After ending the spar, they walked slowly towards their sensei. Now, are you willing to tell me where exactly did you learn those techniques? He asked them. Well, sensei, we kinda, Naruto and I saw them in scrolls during the mission. Sasuke finished. That is possible, but those strategies and moves, Naruto, I'll be honest, you never were the sharpest kunai in the pouch. Kakashi said. I've been thinking. Naruto said simply. I can live with that. You are the most unpredictable ninja after all. Naruto smirked and crossed his arms. And now we come to you, Sasuke. Sasuke gulped. I offered to train you 3 weeks ago and teach you a new technique, am I right? He nodded. And is it also true that a week ago you refused and went off to train on your own? He nodded again. Where did you get extra training and where did you learn lightning jutsus? Sasuke and I found some scrolls in the Uchiha compound a week ago. Naruto finished for Sasuke. Kakashi thought for a few seconds before looking up. You two. Keep doing what you're doing. Kakashi said. Really? They both looked up at him in surprise. If you two have gone so far in just a week, then I really can't do anything to interfere. Kakashi sighed again. Wow, thanks a lot, sensei. Naruto whooped as he jumped around. Yeah, you two are dismissed for now. Kakashi waved them off. Bye, Kakashi sensei. Naruto and Sasuke sunshined away from the training field. Even if they read the third scrolls, to learn all of that in 2 weeks, on their own, it takes incredible potential. What do you think, sensei? Kakashi thought before walking off. 6 days later, Naruto sat in his chair with a sigh. It's been 2 weeks and the exams were tomorrow. He thought he would have it down by now, but it seemed impossible. His apartment was a mess. Messier than normal. Scrolls and ramen cups thrown all over the place. He smelled but he didn't care. He opened another cup of instant ramen and started chewing down, at the same time going over the book on seals Pervy Sage had given him a week ago when he asked. Surprisingly, the old fart didn't argue at all. He actually seemed proud of Naruto. The book itself was written by the 4th Hokage, Minato Namikaze. Who would have thought? Okay, he went through chapter 5 once more. It talked about advanced seals and methods and also mentioned the differences between summonings, sunshins and time-space barriers. All three had one thing in common. Instant transportation. Naruto couldn't have learned about seals any faster. He absorbed the information like a sponge and it never was enough. He experimented, tested and created many seals just for the heck of it. It was thrilling to him. Seals were surprisingly very complex, the reason why the art of sealing wasn't practiced by many. Naruto couldn't figure out why. Just gotta carefully follow the formula for the jutsu and done, he said as he applied the seal on another kunai. Come on. 2.5 seconds. The flash of yellow light now lasted almost 3 seconds. Almost, but still not quite there. Every time it was the same. If he could get it to flash for 3 seconds straight, then he would have accomplished his goal. Let's see. The closer the objects are the fastest. Nope. The chakra used can affect the summoning, not that. The flying Raigen's speed is affected by, bingo. Naruto read carefully. To use time-space teleportation you have to use seals. Every seal has a formula which is not provided. Yeah, no shit. Naruto said darkly. Your formula is key to the effects you want to get. If you want to use a barrier, a trap or teleport a single person or more through direct contact. For more information, consult page 1010. This fucking. Naruto sighed as he skipped to page 1010 for the umpteenth time. I don't get it. It says go to page 1010 but it's blank. Is it just Jiraiya's book or did Dad think it would be funny? 'Cause it's not. Any ideas, Nine Tails? Naruto asked. How should I know? I can't read a book. Plus I never got sealed in your bastard of a father. The Nine Tails spat. Okay, I was just asking. Geez, don't be such a bad sport. Anyway, I think I'll take a nap for now. Naruto told the fox. He rubbed his eyes as he yawned wide. Next thing he knew he was already asleep. What? Where am I? Naruto asked to no one in particular as he observed his surroundings. Is this a dream? He asked again. Everything around him was white and he couldn't see anything else. That's not right. I guess I'm dreaming after all. I've had weirder dreams anyway. Naruto? He heard a voice calling his name. Hello, Naruto? The voice called again. Who are you? Show yourself, he said as he grabbed a kunai on instinct. Right. This is a dream. He thought, putting the kunai away. Is it now? Naruto eeped and turned around in surprise. Why, you're... Hello, Naruto. You've grown, the man in front of Naruto said calmly. He had spiky blonde hair and sky-blue eyes. He wore a hidden leaf Jonin vest underneath his white cloak with a red flame design. He was Dad, Naruto managed to say after a few seconds of shock. Look at you. You've gotten big. Well, not as big as I was when I was your age, but still. Minato said. Dad? Punch. Minato doubled over in pain from the punch in his stomach. He looked at Naruto in surprise. His son could sure pack a punch. Why? Was all that Naruto asked. I had to. No, you didn't. You could have picked anyone. Why me? Your son. Naruto screamed through tears as Minato simply watched. I was alone and hated for something I never did. People were afraid, angry. They did things. I'm sorry. That was not how things were supposed to go. Minato said as he held back tears of your own. Well, there's nothing you can do about it now. Being dead and all. Enough. Minato finally let the tears escape. I did everything I could. Me and your mother. But it was not enough. I was the Hokage and I had to protect my village. Well, instead of choosing to be a face carved in stone, you could have been alive and said welcome home every time I got back. Naruto. A rock can't say welcome home, or I love you, or cook for me. Instead, I was all alone. I was hated by everyone and I lived off trash until the old man gave me my apartment. Don't tell me you're sorry. Minato looked down. Because I know you are. Excuse me? Minato was confused. Did his son hate him or not? I get it that you didn't want to place that burden on me, and that the Hokage has his duties. After all, I want to be Hokage one day just like you. Naruto grinned. Naruto, no matter what you think of me, there will always be a single truth, and that is that both I and Kushina love you. I know, Dad. I know. Come here. Naruto did as instructed and walked towards his father. Minato knelt down to Naruto's level and hugged him. Dad? Yes, son? I love you. Naruto tried to hold back his tears, but they just kept coming. He gave up and sobbed freely. I love you. I love you. I love you so much. I love you too, son. Minato hugged him tighter. I wish your mother was here to be with us. Wait, this is a dream. Why can't mom come? Naruto asked. Naruto, this is no dream. We're inside your seal. Naruto broke the embrace and jumped back. Say what? Calm down. I had it built so that I could give you guidance when you most needed it. I think now is the time. Minato told his son. Naruto nodded. So, you know what happened? About the trip? Yeah, I know. So how can I master the flying Raijin? He asked. Minato chuckled. Hey, what's so funny? I'm sorry, Naruto, but it's been right under your nose. Minato smiled. Now that you mentioned it, what's the big deal with that page 1010? Can't you figure it out? Naruto shook his head. It's a code. A code just for you. What do you mean? Naruto, when is your birthday? Minato asked. It's October 10th, so what does that have to? Naruto suddenly stopped as realization appeared on his features. Do you get it now? It's not 1010. It's October 10th. October is the 10th month of the year. Stupid Naruto. Go to that page and focus your chakra through it. The answer will be revealed. Now, I'm afraid my time is running out. I don't have much chakra left. Minato said as he observed his hand fade away. Wait, Dad. Yes? If you see Mom, tell her that I love her. Naruto said, smiling. Will do, son. Take care. And with that, Minato Namikaze vanished and Naruto woke up. Dad. He got up with a start, scrolls flying around. He turned to look at his clock. Somehow, he had slept through the night and now had to be at the arena in 2 hours. Oh yeah, page 1010. He quickly found the page and focused chakra through his hand. Suddenly, letters, numbers, kanji and a formula at the bottom of the page appeared. This is everything I needed. Naruto shouted in excitement as he grabbed another kunai and formed the kanji written on the page. He focused his chakra and touched the kunai, the seal forming on it. He crossed his fingers and observed carefully. 1. The seal glowed a yellow color. 2. The flash of the seal brightened and spread into the seal Naruto formed. 3. The glow stopped and the kunai was now marked with the seal for the flying Raijin Jutsu. Yes. Naruto jumped around the room as he kissed the book over and over again. Thanks, Dad. He set the book down and decided to get some new kunai. After that he would return to mark all of them. And take a shower. And see Hinata. That's right, Hinata is getting out of the hospital today. I've got to hurry. Sasuke got out of bed and dressed with vigor not usually seen early in the morning. Today's the day, he thought to himself as he brushed his teeth. He got out of the bathroom and grabbed the katana he had hanged on his wall. He seized it, wore his tool pouch, strapped it to his thigh, wore his headband and sighed. Naruto, for everyone's sake I hope you got that jutsu down. And with that he left the apartment. 30 minutes later, Naruto returned with everything he needed. The tri-pronged kunai were custom made so he had to wait a bit before they were ready, and he ordered 20 of them too. The handle was orange, of course, and the blades were black. He marked every single one of them and put them in his kunai pouch with the rest. He quickly had a shower and had breakfast. 1 hour left, he thought as he stormed out of his apartment. Naruto stood atop a pole in the middle of the village. Staying perfectly still, he gathered nature energy and mixed it with his own, entering sage mode in a matter of seconds. From up here he could sense everyone's energy and their location. Though there was only one person he was looking for. She's at Team 7's training ground? He leapt down and headed towards his destination. 10 minutes later, he arrived at the field and sure enough, Hinata Hyuga was hiding behind a wooden post. It seemed like she was waiting for someone. He quietly went around and behind her and tapped her shoulder. Hey Hinata. Hinata squealed in surprise and turned around to see Naruto Uzumaki right in front of her, his face inches away from her own. He also looked a bit different if his new outfit was any indication. Nevertheless, Naruto Uzumaki was inches away from her and she had squealed in front of him. Oh God! She instantly blushed a deep red and almost fainted. Hello Naruto-kun. How are you doing? She asked him timidly. Well I was looking for you. Sorry I didn't visit you in the hospital. I don't really like them and I wanted to see you when you were better. Naruto said smiling. Oh, it's okay Naruto-kun. I was hoping to see you too. That's why I came here. Hinata said stuttering horribly. I can see that. So, what did you want to talk to me about? Naruto asked, breaking the awkward silence. You're fighting Neji ni-san today. Hinata said simply. Yeah, you two are cousins right? Naruto asked and she nodded. Don't you hate him at all? What? I mean, after everything he's done to you. No I don't. Neji ni-san is a good person deep inside. It isn't his fault for the hatred between the main and side branch. So you won't mind if I beat him? Naruto asked again. This is the Chunin exams. If you were to attack him randomly, that'd be different. Different how? He hurt you so bad. He deserves it. I wanna. Naruto-kun? Naruto looked up. Yeah? Is there something wrong with your eyes? They're red. Huh? Oh, it's nothing. He closed his eyes as his anger subsided. Naruto-kun. I wanted to thank you for cheering for me. Hinata bowed. Why? You deserved it. You rock Hinata. Naruto told her, making her blush yet again. Still, I lasted that long thanks to you Naruto-kun. Hinata said looking down. That's not true. Naruto told her simply. No I mean it. When you cheered for me, I felt like I had become stronger. After the prelims ended, I started liking myself a little more. To other people it may not seem like much but I felt like I was able to change for the better. I think, it's all thanks to you Naruto-kun. Hinata said with a slight blush. Me huh? Hinata nodded. Hey Hinata? Why yes? Do you really believe all that? I mean, I may know lots of jutsu now and stuff but in the end, I'm just a big idiot. I always screw up, I failed so many times and I still have some things to figure out for myself. In the end, the reason I act so tough is because of my frustration of always failing. That's not true. Hinata stopped him. Huh? Even when you fail, in my eyes you are a proud failure. How is that any better? He asked and she blushed. Well you see, it's because you're not perfect. It's because you fail. You have the strength to get back up and succeed. I think that is what true strength is. I think you're an incredibly strong person, Naruto-kun. Hinata finished, not meeting his intense gaze. Thank you, Hinata. Naruto finally said. Huh? You know, I always thought that you were a plain-looking, terrified, dark weirdo. Hinata looked down in disappointment. But, I've been thinking a lot the last month and I really… Can I do it? Can I say it? Naruto thought. Hinata, I really like you. I like you too, Naruto-kun. I consider you one of my best friends. Hinata smiled. No, what I'm trying to say is… Naruto sighed. Yes? Would you like to go to Ichiraku's with me one day? He finally asked. Dinner? Naruto nodded. That's all for now. If you enjoy, then please like, share and do comments.